All right. Hey, everybody. Good morning. Hopefully, we're all here. It looks like I'm just waiting. Yeah, we got confirmation that we're live. Not going to show you a lot of this, but I did subscribe to Fundstrat, to the insight thing that he has for both crypto and macro. I found it very interesting so far. I also, again, am sub to Michael Howell's work. I will summarize some of that. I won't go through it in detail because, again, I want to make sure that I'm respecting people's content and encouraging you guys to go out and use them. So again, just know this: know that I've got Fun Strat research sitting in front of me every day, and I'm watching it closely to be able to determine, if there's any new information that they have. He's got quite an extensive team, so it's a little more than just me, which is kind of nice because again, I'm trying to find the easy button. I don't know if you guys noticed, I used the unmute button today. Very proud of myself. But the party is on. Yes, it is. I got to say, very interesting market today. So we had some interesting news out of Germany and Great Britain and India. Probably the most interesting things to note for Germany, and I don't have it right in front of me. Maybe it's down here. Yeah, I don't know. It might have been on a previous post. I know I have it. I'll pull it up in a second. But they had a decent clip up in unemployment. So that's a concern there. Or maybe no, I'm sorry. That was Great Britain. If you look right here, you'll see that they went up 0.2% to 4.3. That's concerning. We also had and inflation in Germany, I would actually argue, is too low. It's still at 2%. That is just a really, really historically low number and not a great sign for their economy at all. We also, let's see what else here that was notable that I want to talk about. In India. India also, there were complaints about their inflation rate going up quickly too. So this is a great headline. This is what I saw from Bloomberg Markets, but it's just not a real thing. Like, it's nothing to worry about. From this, you could make it look scary, right? Oh, the inflation narrative, inflation's so scary. But if we just jump out and look at historical, doesn't that look like most of the 2020s? I mean, since the pandemic, this is one of the fastest growing economies on earth. It's definitely take the helm from China as far as major economies. It is going to surpass them easily. It's got a larger population. It's growing way quicker. It's just going to be a lot better. So, so is it shocking at all that it's kind of where it has been for the inflation rate? I'm going to say no. But again, there's narratives that like to be made by the markets, right? They like to run with different narratives. Usually they're false. And the latest one is inflation scary. And we'll know more about that tomorrow in the United States. So maybe that's why we're trying to heighten that concern now, a day before the inflation data comes out. It wouldn't surprise me at all. Again, we should see mortgages come down, mortgage rates come down for the first time because the 10 years coming down a little bit. Won't be a huge amount, but it'll be a sign of things to come. We got the Argentinian inflation rate coming up here soon. I'm loving that. There was other good data from industrial production was better than expected for Argentina last week. I'm loving that. Really good stuff. I got my screen on in front of me too. Someday I'll have to show you guys the setup here. It's pretty crazy. I've got a 46 or a 40-inch TV on top in front of me here. I think it's a 46. And then whatever this OLED is, it's like 50 or something. And then 327. So I've got like just a massive setup of just getting bombarded with stimulus all day. Probably not good for my brain. But what else do we have? So in India, we saw manufacturing production year over year go to 3.9. Expected was 2.5 for forecast. Can't really see it too much here. Maybe if I go to the 5. Yeah, again, industrial production hasn't really done much in India. You got to realize the dumping that China's trying to do all around the world affects everybody. Notably, something else interesting today, Bitcoin down. It went up to 90 and it got all the way down to 86, which I'm pretty sure was a record yesterday. So people, of course, are freaking out. But the MicroStrategy is only down 1% on the day. That is just a phenomenally stupid number. Very interesting to see how strong MicroStrategy is. I'm kind of loving it. But yeah. So fun. So a couple things. Somebody wanted to talk about global liquidity, and again, I'll do a really good summary here. So, or a brief summary, very brief. And this is awesome, guys. So again, I use Speechify So I dumped the report from Michael Howell into here, and then I had their AI summarize it, and it does such a good job. It's just sick. It's so amazing the tools you can get to just help save you time. So the gist of it is this: global liquidity has been trending down. You can actually see that over here on this chart. That said, the MOVE index, which I show you guys all the time, we'll just pop it up over here, is showing a massive crush in the United States for bond volatility. And we're seeing things like, again, the 2-year ticked up a little bit more today, but we're seeing things like, we will be seeing things like the 2-year and the 10-year rolling over. And let me actually pull up the 10-year. That's probably maybe a better representation. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, so again, the 10-year ticked up, and that's because of the inflation narrative. But this is the one I'm going to really start paying attention to. I probably even remove the 2-year button over here because I just don't care anymore. The inversion is still interesting. The bond volatility index is still interesting. And the 10-year is interesting because, again, that's the one that closest represents mortgage rates. And I'm just going to keep pointing this out. I'm going to point out the downward bearish divergence that we're seeing both on the MACD and on the RSI, but more prevalent on the RSI and for a longer period of time. This is the monthly time frame, and this thing goes back to March of 2022. So we've got 2.5-year bearish divergence that's formed on the 10-year bond, and this thing is going to roll over. It's like doing its last death rattle right now. So that's the signal that I want to get out to you guys, is that that's coming. I am watching. It looks like Home Depot gains on earnings. So we did see decent earnings from Home Depot, and the CEO said that he believes that they're near the bottom on just the cyclicality with the home market, and that it can't get much worse. And that's a positive thing. And I think markets are picking up on that a little bit this morning. We'll see if they hold on to it. We do have the market opening in about an hour and 20 minutes. Let's look at how the fear and greed index is doing today. We're at 69, not a bad number. Yesterday was interesting. The NASDAQ was actually down on the day, a day when I made $1.2 million. So that's kind of fascinating. Some people did ask too. They asked if I could go over some of the changes in my portfolio. I can do that. Let me refresh real quick here. And some of this is updated with this morning, so it's not showing as big. Well, I should say this. It's showing a big gain. Not as big as yesterday, but that's because of the markets coming down today. So it's kind of a weird combination of yesterday and today. But if we just look over here, so I sold a decent chunk of Tesla. Again, if you're on Discord over here, you can see under today's trades, you can see what I'm doing, right? So you can see everything that I did yesterday. I sold a lot of Tesla calls yesterday. I sold 12. What did I end up selling? Some more up here. I sold 17 Tesla calls. So I sold a decent chunk. I ended up selling, what is that? Gosh, that might have been like over 7, almost 8% of my portfolio in Tesla yesterday. And I bought a bunch of stuff. I bought Micron. I bought the Argentinian fund that I keep talking about. I bought TLT. That was really it, I think. Did I buy anything else? Oh, I sold some MSTU yesterday too. Not a lot, just like $25,000-$30,000 worth. Just to be able to, it was up 45% on the day or something. It ended up over 50. And today it could go up even more, but I got a bunch more to sell too. So I'm just taking advantage of these, multi-X leverage plays, and pulling together a little bit of cash. But I bought a lot of and again, you can see the stuff on X too, guys, in real time. I actually post it there first when I do a trade. But if you look down here, I still have 170 contracts, and then I have I'm probably like closer to 190 between both of my accounts. But you can see a large increase in TLT, not the leveraged TMF, but just TLT, $128,000, 856. That's a pretty big number. I also have 43,000 in MU. That's an okay number. And then I put 75,000 into ARGT because I really love this play, and I think it's just going to pay dividends in the future. So that's the primary one I'm looking to add to. The TLT is really just a hedge with dividends and the ability for it to go up another 30 to 50%. So it's like a really good cash position right now for me. But I really do believe in Argentina, and I'm very excited to purchase more of it. That was really it for yesterday. So I'll try and do that more often. It's hard to represent as a percent of portfolio There's probably things I can do. Maybe I'm not going to commit to it to trying to update the portfolio allocations daily. I'm trying to find easier ways just to find the change record. And again, I do post the change record, so I could probably update that. But then I need something that just quickly references pricing. I'm trying to figure out how to streamline it because it's such a pain in the ass and laborious for me to do. But anyway, I'm trying to figure that out. Maybe I can get it automated in some way and get somebody to help with it. But I'm trying to do that. The architect was suggesting that. That's our affectionately named Matthew Smith in the Discord, who is helping a lot. He's creating a ticketing system, just all kinds of cool stuff. What are we up to for members now? I don't even know. Let me see. He's got transcripts in here. He's just really taken us to the next level. I definitely couldn't do it without him. Him and my wife, admin wife, she's amazing too. But yeah, we're almost at 1,000 guys. We're almost at 1,000 in the Discord. And then I think over on X here, we're at 1,025 for members. The numbers are getting crazy. I think we're going to hit 3,800 paying members, 1,027. Okay. And then a reminder, I do follow everybody that is a subscriber. So it's an added benefit, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, so I've got and I've got 30,000 or something in cash too this morning. So let's just see here. Market value, what's the diff there? Like 28,000 maybe in cash between the account value and the market value. So I do have money to buy some dips. You know what I mean? If there's any dips, I'm going to be dipping in there. Oh, hey, we might have, I think we might actually have Vlad talking from Robinhood on CNBC. And we're going to have Brian Armstrong talking from Coinbase. So I'm going to hop. Yeah, it looks like he's up. 1 second here, guys. Let me refresh my screen to live, and we're going to see what Vlad Tenev has to say. Robinhood is a very exciting play for me, guys. If you haven't paid attention, follow Tanner, Future Invest. I love that guy. He's a great guy. I got to meet his wife, or a future wife, his fiance, for like a second. I don't even know that I said much to her, but yeah, so that was cool. But he's a great guy. I really love him. I think he's a very genuine person, and he's going to be giving you some of the best updates you can get on Robinhood in the future. So follow him. But let's listen here. Just 1 second.
Welcome back to Squawk Box. Shares of Robinhood up close to 30% since last week's election, when crypto-friendly Donald Trump taking the White House for a second time. Robinhood says that election night was its biggest overnight session ever, with 11 times its average volume for the year. Joining us right now in his first TV interview following the election results, Robinhood co-founder and CEO Vlad Tenev. Vlad, it's great to see you this morning. We are watching, by the way, the price of Bitcoin up at all-time.
I don't love vampires or vampire movies, but Vlad is definitely my favorite.
Highs here, or practically all-time highs, I should say. Can you explain to the viewer and everybody who I think is trying to make sense of this, what under President-elect Trump we're going to see in the form of regulation that would result in prices like this and possibly even higher, if you believe that's where this is all headed?
Hey, good to see you guys. Yeah, I mean, we have seen basically what people are calling the Trump pump. So there's widespread optimism that the Trump administration, which has stated that they wish to embrace cryptocurrencies and make America the center of cryptocurrency innovation worldwide, is going to have a much more forward-looking policy towards this new industry. And I think what you're seeing is the market reacting to that.
But how does that manifest itself? What does that actually look like in reality?
Well, I think the hope is for, first of all, the approach that the SEC has taken over the past 4 years, which has been regulation by enforcement, not providing clear rules of the road for companies engaging in this new industry, and in fact, just pursuing enforcement cases, essentially trying to stifle innovation, trying to stop these companies from operating in the U.S. That's pushed a lot of the really interesting innovation offshore, which I think has been unfortunate. So I think the idea is that we would see that stopping and hopefully some legislation. And now that Republicans have control over not just the executive branch, but Congress as well, that innovation might actually come through.
And is that innovation, you think, related? I mean, we keep looking at Bitcoin as sort of a proxy for all of this, but I would think the true beneficiaries of this should be just about all of the other cryptocurrencies, if you will, and some of the other crypto efforts, given that they're the ones that, you know, may turn out to be true currencies that you might use to buy a coffee, given that I'm not sure you're going to buy a coffee with Bitcoin, but maybe I'm wrong.
I think that the potential is much more broad than that. I think that, you know, traders have viewed cryptocurrencies as an asset to trade and a volatile asset. But if you look overseas, you're starting to see the hints of cryptocurrencies and the traditional financial system merge. So stablecoin adoption abroad has overtaken Visa by some measures as sort of like the largest contributor to the blockchain transaction volumes. So you're starting to see stable coins take off, and those are going to continue to develop and evolve and become more useful. Tokenization, which up until very recently, I don't think seemed feasible in the US. I think now we can start having that conversation because, you know, Robinhood operates scaled businesses in both traditional finance with our equities and securities business and also cryptocurrencies. And we can see directly the benefits of this new technology because the cost savings and the efficiency and the value to customers in the form of user experience improvements like fractionalization and 24-hour trading is just undeniable. I mean, it costs us roughly an order of magnitude less to operate a cryptocurrency.
Do you ever wonder why he's trying to get night trading to be such a thing? But bump.
Currency business and offer the exchange of assets than it does on the TradFi side. So I think that advantage is undeniable.
So we're seeing your stock, by the way, trading at about 32.20 now. How much do you think the run in your stock is a function of just more trading in crypto and more trading in the markets broadly versus, I don't know, when you start to think about tokenization, some of the other businesses that you might ultimately be able to go in, frankly, if all of this works out in your favor?
Yeah, I think, you know, the stock price is nice and everything, but it's a lagging indicator of all of the work that we've been putting in over the past few years to get to this position. I mean, just looking back in the past month, we had a big event in Miami, the Hood Summit. I think I spoke to you guys in the morning of that event. We announced 3 awesome new products, a new Pro Trader web platform, futures, index options trading. Then a week before the election, we rolled out another new product, presidential election contracts, allowing our traders to trade on the outcome of the election. That was incredibly successful. That traded over 500 million contracts in roughly a week. And, you know, you saw Robinhood kind of climbing the App Store charts over the past few weeks. Now we're the #1 finance app in the US. And so I think that it's a combination of innovation across a couple of different products and sectors. Of course, people are trading crypto, but they like our traditional equities offerings as well. You mentioned at the beginning, overnight trading on election night was the biggest in our history. Sunday night as well, just a couple of nights ago, was the 3rd biggest overnight session we've had. So it's pretty amazing, I think, for me, because I remember the 2016 election. Robinhood was a young company, and our traders, our investors, couldn't actually respond or take advantage of the election price moves. It was just in the futures markets. And now we've got 4 assets that allow investors to capitalize on that activity round the clock. You've got futures. You also have 24-hour equity markets, cryptocurrencies, and presidential election markets. So I think the amount of innovation that we've delivered to retail, sometimes, you know, it's hard to comprehend, but we're also not done. I think there's a lot more work to do, and, you know, we're working our way there.
Hey, Vlad, I was going to ask you about that. I mean, you're hinting at it, just the idea that you're the #1 finance app that's being downloaded right now. But it's only been a week. We have seen a lot of action in the stock market, though. The most recent numbers I've seen was that you had 24.3 million funded customers and 11 million monthly active users. Did either of those numbers go up in the last week?
Well, we haven't announced them, but certainly we've been seeing increases in activity and increases in trading volume across all assets. I mean, I mentioned earlier, just Sunday was our third biggest overnight equity trading volume, and the biggest was election night. So it's been a busy November. October was also a strong month. We released those results yesterday, and we had over 5 billion of net deposits into the platform in October. So that was also an incredibly strong month for us.
Yeah, I remember with Vlad and Robinhood, I remember when I was buying this company initially, so many people shitting on it, just like a lot of things, right? Like everybody was shitting on Tesla at $100. They were shitting on Meta at $85. They were shitting on Robinhood at whatever price it was at. I don't remember. Palantir in the sevens. Like everybody is really emotionally negative about investments when they're at their lows, the time where they should be figuring out which ones are the best. Okay. And I remember arguing with the GameStop crowd or people that had been hurt by it, talking about how Vlad was the devil. I'm like, and they all told me, like, nobody's going to buy this stock. Nobody's going to buy this stock. People are going to remember what happened to them. I'm like, first off, it was Citadel that was the real problem, along with the company that was shorting them. Secondly, pay for order flow, whatever. I don't know. It's one of those things where they can get rid of the fees, but again, maybe you're not getting the best execution price. You got to understand that. But it was transformative. They were the first to do it, and it worked really good. It helped grow their business. And these guys are putting themselves out into everything, every industry within the exchange-related world, and then some. And now, again, they got the gold card, which I need, Vlad. I don't know what you guys are doing. Maybe they're just working the night shift, but if you could get me my gold card, the Goldie Gold. I want the Goldie Gold because I got the referral thingies. So, but anyway, it's a great company. I'm still invested in it. I don't know how much I have in it. It's went up a lot, but yeah, $250,000 or something. I think I might have some in another account too, but I think it can go up even more from here. I think I've said this for a while. I think it could be a big beneficiary of the crypto markets doing well. And I was arguing in their last quarterly earnings that I wasn't happy with the fact that they didn't have a new extension or a bunch of cryptos on their exchange because they didn't even have Solana, and it's just incredibly outdated. But when they bought, Tanner was reminding me that they bought Bitstamp, and he actually said that they're looking to incorporate that into the product in the first quarter of this next year. So if they do that, I think they're going to be firing on all cylinders. Hey, Jesse, which broker do you use? All of them, Shaylin. Ally's my primary. I just moved $400,000 over to Robinhood. Might move more over there. I try to split up my accounts because once you get to the 500,000 level, you reach the SPIC insurance level for exchange related accounts. And then you can have 500,000 in actual like equities, and then you can have up to 250,000 in cash. So I try to get it to where it's something close to that, to where if there's like some major economic events, I don't have all my money in one place. So I'm trying to distribute that out. I might put some in SoFi too. I try to use all the platforms for everything that I'm invested in. But yeah. So anyway, let's listen to the rest of what Vlad has to say. I think Brian Armstrong's coming in later. About an hour and 5 minutes until the market open.
Do you imagine getting into other types of contracts and the like? I mean, the sort of poly market of it all, being able to bet on anything. Is it just elections that are interesting to you? Do you think you could open it up to other things? I mean, you could bet on whether Joe's going to wear a blue or red tie tomorrow. I don't know. That's where this could all head in the end, right?
Yeah, one of our most requested markets. That one. Yeah, I think it's
and
a
you
new.
can tell me what to do, and
That's the other.
We'll lay
by
a
the
big.
way, by the way, well, that's one of the things that we should talk about, though, which is there's a real issue. The elections are one thing where it's hard to necessarily know what's going to happen, but there's other things where we always talk about the potential for inside information and the
sports.
like. You can get into with sports or just all sorts of things where it gets a little bit more complicated, or a lot more complicated, a lot more quickly. No.
Well, I mean, here's what I'd say. I think that this is a regulated space in the U.S., regulated by the CFTC. And I think in contrast to some of the other competitors that you mentioned who are offshore, can't operate in the U.S., the rules are a little bit more clear and strict, and I think customers and market participants want that. You know, we've got experience working in a regulated space across all of our offerings, and I think it's clear that for hedging risk and for speculation and just as a source of information, prediction markets are really important and critical. And so I think it's important for a regulated player to offer them to customers.
Here's a prediction market question. You know, we all say the prediction market's got it right. Everybody says that. But then when you actually drill down and look into it, you realize that that the prediction market was right about the Electoral College. True. But wrong about the popular vote, for example. So this whole sort of concept that, prediction markets are right and polls and everything else are wrong. How do you think about that?
I think that, obviously the further you get away from the event, the more uncertainty there is. There's uncertainty in the polls, there's uncertainty in the markets. That's why there is a market. I mean, there's some people that are speculating and hedging on events going in both directions. But I think what you saw on election night is, the states weren't called until very, very late into the morning. And the prediction markets showed a fairly clear result earlier on. So, I mean, if on a prediction market, it's, 95% or 99%, there is a chance that it goes the other way, but it's like pretty clear. And I think the news has turned into sort of like this entertainment. There's this entertainment quality where it's kind of in their interest to create suspense rather than just tell you what's actually happening. And so I think that's where the power is actually revealed. When information is coming in, you can see the markets process that relatively quickly, but the big networks were there saying, oh, it's very unclear. We might not know the result for several days.
Got to move Vlad along.
And Vlad, even the popular vote was in the right, like it had sweep, Republican sweep, Dem sweep. Republican sweep was about 45, 50%. Dem sweep was like 10%. So even though it didn't say 90%, it was pointing in the right direction. And Vlad, what was amazing about the individual states, I was watching cable networks still micro-analyzing counties and votes left to come in to see whether it was possible for Kamala Harris to win, and it was 90% on Polymarket that was not going to be, and it was, they wasted hours micro-analyzing what was never going to happen if they had just looked at the betting markets.
To be fair, the networks have gotten streamed out when they called things too early.
Yeah, but they had nothing else to talk about.
There's nothing I love more than watching Joe shit on mainstream media and then have his co-hosts be like, yeah, realize who's employing you, right? But he doesn't fucking care. That's why I love Joe.
So they were like pretending they needed to go into each county to see, what was, they even had one where they were.
Yeah, so real quickly, Anthony C. Clear says, thanks, man. One of my friends took all of his money out of miners yesterday. I found it was an emotional move. He's trying to time back an entry. That's the danger, right? I've had that happen to me multiple times through cycles with Bitcoin, where I thought I was being really smart early in the market on timing and exiting sooner than later, right? But when you do that, what you're actually doing is you're pulling yourself out too early. And this is the second phase of this cycle. It's the most parabolic of them all. Yesterday, if you were going to sell some, yesterday probably would have been a good day. I mean, for reals, like if you're going to trim a little bit to be able to get ready to buy a dip, like that wasn't probably a horrible idea. But the problem is if you do all or nothing, if you didn't just trim a little bit, now you're all out. So when do you get all back in? How do you perfectly time that? What if you don't perfectly time that? Do you end up chasing and then losing gains? And now you're stressed out because you're you're like, fuck, I'm all out. Oh wait, is it going back up? Is it going back up? Do I need to get in? Do I need to get in? And you don't want to be that way. You don't want to be that way. You ride the swings, which are multi-year. In some cases, with some things, they can be a decade. And so you ride the swings. And then when things are getting too rich and they're too insane or you're near the end of a cycle, you start trimming. And maybe you do that aggressively. Maybe you take a lot off, okay? But you don't day trade in and out of shit. If there's anything I can teach you guys, don't be day traders. You might think you're good at it. You're not. 99.9% of day traders suck. They suck. They're shit at it. Okay? You'll just keep losing money over and over and over and over again. Have a long-term thesis. Invest in things you love and understand. Don't be an idiot and day trade in and out of stuff. You'll regret it. Trust me. I've been that guy. I went bankrupt after the great financial crisis. I understand what it's like to look at pretty green arrows and get excited and not know what the fuck they mean. Now know what options mean. Lose all your money and then be bankrupt. So avoid that. Skip that step. You've got me. You've got other people that are really smart that have already made these stupid mistakes. Listen to them. Okay? All right, real quickly. BGZ, thank you for the $9.99. What's the measured move on coin? You know, we can look at it real quick since you are so nice to tip. Let me just hop over here real quick. For people coming in late, I'm actually thinking the market looks pretty good today. I do want to look real quickly here. We'll do this. We'll look at this little watch list thingamajigger over here, and we'll sort by extended hours so we can get a bead on what's happening. And again, your friend yesterday who sold out of miners is looking good today. The question is, will he be smart enough to step back in, or will he think that it's going much lower? If he thinks it's going much lower, I think he's going to be hurting. And I'm not hating today either. I've got about $280,000 that I put into other funds that I was showing earlier from my portfolio allocation. Some of them I can't touch for 48 hours because it has to all settle with the clearinghouse. But I've still got at least $30,000 in cash that I can play with, and probably some more that I could sell. And I'm in no rush. I'm so happy right now. I hit 5.7, maybe $5.8 million yesterday. That's very much on point with my goals. So I'm not, and again, I trimmed a little bit, but it ain't a lot. And pulling a few percent off and having six figures sitting on the sidelines waiting to be applied is a great feeling. Even though when you look at it, 5.7, 5.8 million, a little less than $300,000 doesn't sound like anything. It doesn't sound like any real cash position or whatever, but it's nice to have it nonetheless. And it feels good on days like today when you can buy the dip because you feel like you're getting deals. If you don't have any money, psychologically, it's damaging to you, right? Because you don't look at it as an opportunity. You look at it as, oh, I fucked up. I should have taken profits yesterday. And so I do recommend taking small amounts and reallocating if you're in a tax-advantaged account where you don't have to worry a lot about taxes because you're in an IRA or in a Roth IRA. It only happens when you pull the money, right? So you don't have to worry about going in and out of things. If you're in a regular investment account, hold that stuff for a year, okay? 300K is 300K. Yeah, but as a percentage of allocation of $5.7 million, it's not a lot of money. So that could still be true. Anyway. All right, so interesting cipher here. Let's go to coin real quick, though, and hop over there. See where we're sitting on the chart. 1 second here. Let me get my Bitcoin. Oh, look at that, guys. We almost perfectly hit the .618 yesterday and then retraced. I don't think we're done. We could take a breather here. I actually think we're going to explode above and then maybe get to the 100K range, 104, drop back down, and then find support on this. That's what I think we're doing. Doesn't mean I have to be right, but that's what I think is happening. Let's look at coin, though, to answer your question, sir. And then we'll get back. I'll let you guys know when Brian Armstrong comes on from Coinbase. Vlad isn't as fun to watch the interviews. He's not as exciting. Wow, look at this one, dude. Perfectly touched the .382. So here's what I could see happening, right? I could see a multi-day route in Bitcoin. I could see that. And where we are right now is down here. We've got this huge gap to fill. So could we go down to 274? I mean, it wouldn't be crazy. We're already at 312. It would be nice to fill the gap too, since we have two huge gaps. But it doesn't have to. So what was your question again? What's the measured move? Measured move is difficult. This thing's already like... It was a falling broadening wedge. I mean, I guess it isn't too difficult. It was a falling broadening wedge. So the measured move should look similar to this, right? It should get us way the fuck up here. Like way the fuck up. $500. That's the measured move for a falling broadening wedge where we could. But again, that can happen over a very long time frame. But I think you could get some buy-in around the 277. I just don't. This one isn't my favorite. I never found a good options contract for it. It seems to be too busy. So I just really haven't got into it. But it looks all right. It looks like it's again. If we get back down, if we got down to here, guys, 275. If you're looking at for Coinbase, that would be like an amazing time to pick it up right around there, the 270s, because then the chance of it just going back up and touching this 330 mark again is really, really high in my opinion. Cypher just getting butchered. Iron, our HPC play. Nobody likes high performance computing. It's funny how narratives shift all the time. CleanSpark not doing much better though. So is it that, or is it just like everything sucks? The miners do, but what is doing well today? MicroStrategy actually isn't doing bad. Only down 2.41%. That's actually pretty amazing. Tesla's down 3. Again, the market I think is just, it's being stupid. It's being stupid. It's worried about inflation, and it shouldn't be. I don't know if that's all. What are you guys seeing out there? What are you guys seeing? Is there anything about, like, do you see anything outside of like inflation narratives with India and other stuff, and Germany having a higher unemployment rate? Is anybody shocked that Europe sucks? Is anybody shocked that the country that's going to be growing the most in the future and replacing China, at least is the primary, along with a bunch of other smaller companies, is India? Is anybody shocked by that and seeing a higher inflation rate? I'm not. Can I give my thoughts? Woo, you guys are jumping in all the stock stuff. Lots of stock stuff. Albert, 2024 is such a wild ride for me. Long only, no options, was negative 40%, now beating the S&P index, and it's not even the end of the year. Yeah, 2024 has sucked for me. I'm only up like 70%, and I was down too. I was down like 35, 40% at one point, so this has not been my best year. I did not manage it as well as I would have liked. But I did make 600% last year. And my trend, I mean, right now, I am still at, if we just refresh. Oh, I should show you guys my setup. I did post that. Let me show. So, or did I? Did I post it? Did I not post it? Let me refresh. I thought I posted it. Oh, yeah. This is me, guys. Ignore my desk. It's a fucking mess. But in case you're wondering, this is what I look at all day. This is it. So that's my view of the world. I'm going to like this real quick here. What was I doing? I got lost. Did I have anything to talk about? I did have news. Actually, there's things I want to talk about. Pre-market all over the place this morning. Yes. Me and the pre-market. Me and the indices all over the place this morning. Let's see here. Thoughts on Bit Digital. I mean, it's a Bitcoin miner. It's not one of the ones I like. They'll all go up, though, pretty much. Nam Datton, letting my winners run mindset is tough and tricky in a bull market. You got to do it, though. And it's you're right. It's harder. If you own Tesla, and you were like son of the walkie, right? He's always online being like, I'm shaking right now. I'm only 25% away from my all in. Here, let me do this real quick. I'll just do it this way. But if you're that guy, right? And he's a good dude. I'm not picking on him. But if you're that guy and you're looking at the market, like, he still hasn't made his money back. I mean, the all-time high on this thing was just a hair under 420. So when you've had almost 3 years pass you by, and again, PayPal is a great representation, even worse. When you've had almost 3 years pass you by where you've had dead money, the natural, emotional gut reaction for that is to fucking sell once you've gotten your money back. And that is the stupidest thing to do if you own a really solid company. So if I can give you any advice, please don't do stuff like that. Don't take a Tesla and be like, oh, Tesla's up to 350. I sold it all. And I didn't really think about the fact that all these amazing things are getting ready to happen for this company while they destroy all their competition. Don't be that person. You'll regret it. You know, when you do stuff like that, you'll regret it. I have 3 tube TVs and a Nintendo Air Jordan poster and a cup of coffee. Nice. It's like literally me in my youth. That's awesome, Pawpaw. But yeah, so just like, again, hold your winners when they're winning and understand valuation and understand how things can become incredibly undervalued for long periods of time because markets can be irrational. And to that same extent, in the other direction, they can be overextended for a long time as well. And that you have to be ready for that to happen, and you have to have some kind of compass that guides you for you to be able to understand that. And if you don't, you're just missing out, man. So let me see here, Mike Shoemate. I'm begging for a bit of dip to put some more cash position to work. Yeah, we got some dippity dip today. BGZ ARC K broke out yesterday. That's awesome. I don't care about that one though. It needs to be ARC G because I've already got my technical plays, but I want ARC G to break out. But I think again that's going to be a laggard. Seymour Sats, they added new strikes to the MicroStrategy options up to 700 now. That's funny. BGZ RK options. Dylan, holy, that's a lot. Matt, holy, thank is rad. Simone, bravo, cool. JT, dang, I only have a laptop. Juan says amazing. Oh, we're talking about my picture thing. Frank, what have you locked in so far? 1.7 million in options. No, I got more than that actually. They keep going up. So 2 million in probably 2.2 million in options so far right now. It's hard to say what I've locked in, man. I don't know. It changes every fucking day. So, like, I've taken a decent amount of profits. I've probably taken 15 to 18% of my previous Tesla portfolio, roughly. Because what did I have? I had over 200. No, maybe over 20% now that I've cashed out. So I locked in a decent amount, and that was this go around. I've locked in probably a total of $800,000 or $900,000 on Tesla. Right here, my original contribution on this block is only $553,000. So I locked it in pretty good. Plus, I've still got a lot of time. I've got until June of 2026 for this thing to get to 330, which it already has. Are those TVs? Yes, there's two OLEDs. There's an LG OLED above me, and then an LG OLED in front of me. I think it's a 55 or something, or 50. I don't know. It's big. And then whatever they make. And then I've got regular monitors on the side. Desktop is fire. Thank you. Dylan, might nibble some Cypher. Roman Z, Hey Jesse, Celsius, and Enphase can be a good entry point? I'm not sure. I still don't know the use case for Enphase. I don't know if I understand the company anymore or ever did. I know there's people I know that like it and that they might be right, that it could be okay, but I don't know. And it looks like market's continuing to trend down. It's a good day to be down. Maybe tomorrow down too. If inflation looks a little hot, I could totally see that. But yeah, let me pull some of these up real quick. You guys want to? We've still got the Senate Republican leader, Joe Manchin, talking. I actually really like him. Might look at him in a second, guys. He's the senator from West Virginia, and he's pretty brilliant. Celsius is a pain train, isn't it? Got that rejection off the 200 weekly moving average. How bad? Oh, God, you guys have been wrecked on Celsius. 73%. That's painful. I don't know, man. It feels to me like 25 to 23 could definitely be it. Let's look at Celsius, though, as far as what the valuation is. And just simply with PE ratio. I usually stick to that. I know people do price to sales and just price to book, a bunch of other crap. I don't care. I keep things stupid simple. I do like that the PE is down at the low 30s right now. I think it could go into the 20s, though. What is revenue? Oh, revenue took a hit in Q3. Ouch. I just don't know. This thing could still fall. I don't know why I would be excited about Celsius right now. It feels like a retail play that's kind of gotten beat up personally. So I don't know if I love it. Now, Enphase, and again, maybe if it consolidates over here and then we start to see earnings do better and financials looking better, maybe I change my mind. Maybe it is a good opportunity if they start growing again. The problem is it looks like they've hit a peak on growth, and you get butchered when that happens. And look at this. I can't even mark the bottom on Enphase because it just keeps going lower. Look at that. That's painful. That's some painful shit right there, guys. There's a reason I do not own this one. I just don't know where this company's going. I just don't know where they're going. And that's a bummer to say. You want to like companies, especially in the solar industry field. But I guess one positive thing, they technically have bullish divergence that goes back to October of 2023 over here, where you can see that this is a new low, but it's technically higher. So if this did mark the bottom, you're down 81% from the high that was created in December of 2022. So I don't know. I just don't love it, man. Think you'll just have a setup in VR in the future? Maybe. I don't know. I'd like to train my optimist. Here's what I'm thinking. This is my thought process, what I've been thinking about. I've been stewing on this. I'm thinking there'll eventually be enough content from me to create a large language model based upon my YouTube videos. And then I will just have my Optimus robot do most of the work. I think he can emulate me. That's kind of what I've been thinking about. So, and then I'll just come in every once in a while and check his work and make sure he's good. Susan, sorry I missed the last couple of days. I've been busy counting money. That's a tough problem to have, Susan, but I'm happy to hear it. Albert, let an investment thesis play out. Yes, sir. Here, one sec. I'm actually going to probably hop back over here real quick. I do want to see, after Vlad, again.
They needed 118,000 votes, and there were 100. And
yeah.
I've heard people say if it gets too...
Basically throwing the Democrats to the side.
I want to see what Manchin has to say because he's a pretty straight shooter, no bullshit kind of senator. It's probably coming from West Virginia in the backwoods. But I love him because I want to know. I want to know the truth, right? So when you can find people that will tell you the truth without bullshit, you should listen to them. Jesus, where does this thing start? Oh, there we go. Here we go. All right, 1 second. We're going to listen to Manchin for a second here too, guys. Throw out anything you have in chat. We have about 42 minutes until market open, so not too far from now. If you guys could too, New Borders are, yeah, that dude's a badass. And then you got Kristi Noem and something too. You got a bunch of people. Mark Rubio. What was he going to be? Secretary of State or something? He's tough on China. It's going to be China. Ooh, CCP. Got to feel bad for. Well, I mean, you don't have to feel bad for the CCP because they're fucking horrible. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. He's retired now. Who's retired? Already have 50 of your videos in an LL. That's awesome. Hey, you can't take that. That's mine. JT, but if you subscribe as a whale, you get the real life Jesse. There you go. That'll be the bonus. Real life Jesse for the whale fund. Homeland Security for Kristi Noem. Yeah, thanks, Mike. Thank you for that. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting group. But let's listen to what our Senator Joe from West Virginia has. He's pretty good at crossing the aisle. And again, he's kind of a no bullshit guy. I love that.
In the attic, maybe. So you could do a post-mortem on your old party, the Democrats, on what you think went wrong. I'd almost rather talk about what you're going to do now and whether you're, I know how much you care about this country, and I know you've been in politics a long time, but absolutely no way you're going to end up in the public realm at some point again.
I don't think so, Joe. I've given it 42 years, given it my best. The last 14 years in the Senate, I've tried every way possible to bring both sides together and did everything I possibly could to dinners on the boat and everything that we've been able to do to bring people together just to know each other. But I think now from the outside I can share my experiences and hopefully guide some people together and work with my daughter, Heather, on Americans Together and how we're able to show the American public that we are one United States. We're not divided, even though the politics and the politicians want you to believe that in Washington. And I want to congratulate President Trump. He's putting some people together, which I think are very competent, very skilled, very good. And you've got to want your president.
Wow, we're probably going to be watching a lot of videos this morning. We've got Brian Armstrong talking right now after we get done with Manchin here. So lots going on today.
To succeed. And I've said this. If my president succeeds, then our country does well. My country does well. My state's doing well. And I'll do everything I can to help the administration. But you can speak truth to power in a most respectful way. And we've lost that decency. that respectfulness that we should have when we're trying to make things better. If I disagree with you, it's not that you're wrong. There might be another way you should look at things, and it's how you approach it. And I think that's what I've been blessed to be able to have that opportunity to do many times.
Yeah, we definitely need a lot more than that. Republicans and Democrats both are just like, I'm always right, you're always wrong. We need to find, even though I do think Republicans are a lot more right as of late than the Democrats, but we do need more of just being able to communicate with each other and not have to worry about calling a person Hitler. I totally agree with that.
And working people.
I read this story today. This guy murdered his 2 boys, his wife, I don't know, like a bunch of people. He murdered a bunch of people because of the election, because Trump won. He murdered his whole family. Like, what the fuck? Why are we getting to this point? You know, why are we getting to this point where we're saying the kind of rhetoric that causes people to try and murder the person who won the presidency and who literally murdered their own family because they thought the world was over because Adolf Hitler came into power. And if Adolf Hitler did come into power, you could see how somebody would be a little dismayed, right? So why do we put these situations out there? Why do we allow this kind of rhetoric in our media? It shouldn't be.
Together, you're not always wrong, and you're not always right. Together, we can find an answer, and we can both live with that answer. So I'm hoping this administration understands that. Reach out.
Yeah, we don't have much choice, I guess, and to try. I don't know what you think the probability is that there can be some move towards some unity or understanding or whatever. I don't know how optimistic I am. There's always dead enders in both parties. There's just no way.
Sure.
Freedom Option says, good morning, afternoon all. Anyone else buying the dip with me? I probably will be. I don't know. Some of the things I can't sell right away because I can use them as a source of funds like TLT, but a lot of it I just got yesterday. So I'll probably have to wait a day, which might not be a bad thing anyway. But I probably will be buying some dip. And then somebody asked about option plays. I don't know, man. I don't feel good about recommending option plays at all. Like when they're up as much as these are. Hood, 257% on my 2026s. The 2025s are up 850, insane. But Tesla up 250%. Like, again, these were, if you would have asked me 7 months ago, I'd have been like, buy fucking all these things when they're really good deals and they're cheap. But I can't recommend them when, I mean, really since the election, this thing has went up like 200%. I can't recommend that in all good conscience. You would pump my bags, which would enrich me financially, which I don't really need much of, but I can't tell anybody that, oh, hey, Tesla's a great call option deal. I mean, run the math yourself. Use the option profit calculator that we look at to figure out whether or not you think it's a good deal. I don't think it's a good deal, and I don't want you buying the calls that I have right now. We can leave that for other people. They can buy my bags. You don't need to. ArcG still maybe that actually might be a good one. I haven't looked at that too. Let's just take a look here real quick. How's ArcG doing today? ArcG is still down. So yeah, this is deceiving. It says I'm down 38%, but really it's all this 2025 because I was too early. So I lost 126K on that. But if you look at the 2026s, they're about flat. I don't know. ArcG looks interesting to me still for a $50 price target because all that is, it's already 27. You're not even trying to get it to double. And if I looked at the contracts on this one, I own a shit ton of them. But I'm willing to bet that they're pretty high still. Let me just take a look, just super fast. I don't like to go too deep down the rabbit hole, but we'll just look real quick here. Again, maybe a different time frame is better. They got 2027s now for RG. That's crazy. But I got these 50s. What did I buy them at? I don't even know what was my buy price. $1.13. They're at 116. Okay. All right. So pretty flat. And then I have 1,630 of them. 1,630. So we'll just leave that the same. That doesn't even need to change. So, so if we get to 50, like let's say we got to 50 by June, somewhere around there, you'd make 583% off of an 86% move. So if we start to get some speculation, then it looks great. It is a steep curve though. And really you'd want to see it go above 50. I'll have to look at the chart, but what you'd want to see is you'd want to see it get well above 50. You'd want to see it like get up to like 70 or something. And we can look at the chart here. Let me just pull up ARKG here real quick. So, and I think it can do that. I've said for a while, like, this is crazy, right? Like, if you look here, you can see resistance, support, 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 support. And then I said this thing's going to launch. And then you have it getting closer to what was a breakout zone. It broke above it one time, and then it went back underneath, so we won't count that. And then you can see where it hit it again as resistance, and then it tested all the support. When it gets back up here, you best believe that a trend line that goes back to April of 2022, 2.5 years ago, a little over, is going to break out with vigor. And its ability to get to 35 is easy. Then it's 46. Then it's 60. Then the real resistance doesn't come until 77. So again, if we just go back over here, and that's not even a crazy number for this thing to go up. Just think like, oh, in the next year, people start to speculate on ARKG because the markets are doing really good. And maybe it's August and this thing gets up to 67 or 70, right around there, right? 1,800% off of a 160% move. Bada bing. Who likes those odds? Does anybody here like those odds? Would anybody like to make $3.4 million off of 187,000? So that's what the bet is, right? That's what the bet is for me, is get in early, and with the thesis that this is going to turn into an asymmetric play later, because people are speculating in markets. That's the bet. It could be a wrong bet, but with more than 10x return, like what is that again? $70. $70 by August of next year would get me 1,800% off of a 160% move. So I could have 10 plays like this and be wrong 9 times and still break even. So you can kind of see how the asymmetric bet thing is kind of cool. And if you're right more than you're wrong, you're just filthy rich. That's kind of how I do it. Anyway, we've segued. Let's go back over here. We got to listen to the rest of the mansion here.
Nothing.
I'm going to hit the rest real quick too. Give me 1 second, guys. Give me 1 second.
Things learned from elections, and they're dug in. They'll be, dug in. And Trump seems to have,
Joe, no.
You know, he's a very divisive figure, and
he can be, but he's very charming at times. I've had both sides of him. I've had both sides. You can work with him. You just got to take your time and sit down and reason with him, and hopefully it gets through. And sometimes it does, and sometimes he has a different idea. Let me just say, Joe, your whole show, Squawk Box, is based around the solvency and the economic might of this great country. I hope that this administration understands the depth of our indebtedness, approaching $36 trillion rapidly, which is it's just unsustainable. Somebody's got to be talking about that. How do you get your financial house in order? Not a word was spoken about that during the campaign on either side. It's almost like it's non-issue. It could be the biggest issue and stumbling block that any administration would have getting their agenda accomplished. But there's a lot of problems we have. The border has been a serious problem from day one. I've spoken to the Democrats about this many times. You better get your house in order there, secure that border. We shouldn't have asylum at the border. And then you have all the different unrest around the world. But also, the Democratic Party, I've been trying to tell them, I said, if you want to know what happened to the Democratic Party, look at West Virginia. We flipped more and faster and further than any state has flipped in 1 decade, from 75% majority of Democrats to 75-80% majority Republicans. And I was asked one time what happened to the West Virginia Democrats, and I said, they want to know what happened to the Washington Democrats. First of all, now we've done all the heavy lifting, we've worked hard, and now we're not good enough, we're not green enough, we're not smart enough, and I guess you just don't need us anymore. And they left. So they forgot about who brung them. There's an old saying, dance with who brung you. The Democrat Party always protected the worker. That was how we grew up in this, you know.
See, I like Manchin. He's at least like Bernie Sanders, even though I think Bernie would be a disaster for America because of his heart's in the right place. But like what he would do with the socialistic plays would just be horrible and indebt us even more. But I like Manchin for the same reason, because he's like, guys, we abandoned the working class and you expect us to win an election. He's 100% right. You need more Democrats like this that return to the center and go, we've really been fucking up. We need to get to the center. Here's the thing, Trump, end of 2000, his 2016 election, at that point, I thought, wow, the Republicans really need to figure their shit out. They're getting too far to the right, and they're imploding right now, and they need to find the center. Look at what Republicans did, right? You have a gay man who moved to Pennsylvania to register people for 4 years to get them into office. You had blacks, Hispanics, you had all these people voting for Trump. So they were smart. They said, hey, you know what? We're the centrist candidate now. And they won. And you still got these idiots on The View that are just being morons talking about how it's misogyny and racism that caused them to lose their election. It's like, yeah, that's why all the blacks and all the white women too, especially white women, voted for Trump because of misogyny and racism. You know, those black people, they hate other races, right? It's not that. You've got to understand that they went to the center, and their policies are way better, and they're more towards the truth than the current Democratic Party, who's obsessed with like DEI and racism and like dividing people. But Manchin's better. He's better. West Virginia governor is replacing Manchin with a Republican senator, I think. Okay. All right. That can happen. Yeah, this guy's done, right? He's on his way out. But again, I love the truth tellers. I love people that will cross party lines and tell the truth. Sachs plus Elon plus Chamath plus Trump. Yeah, and then you're forgetting like J.D. Vance and Vivek and Tulsi Gabbard and Shanahan and Balaji, and just there's so many people that are gonna just make America successful. So many.
Lifelong Democrat. It took care of basically having a good job, having a safe place to work, having good benefits, take care of your family.
Oh, Bitfarms pre-market. Let me know how it goes.
That wasn't the priority. And when that left, they left, and that's what happened.
Did she? I'll check out Tesla.
It's similar to what Bernie Sanders had said recently. You think he's right in that assessment?
Bernie, we don't agree on much, Becky, but I agree. I got you.
Senator, I just want to say thank you for always being somebody who was thinking logically about things and not looking down party lines.
Yes, thank you.
We've had other senators who have left in the past who sounded kind of similar to what you've been saying, just about your frustration with not being able to get people to work across the aisle. I think back to Senator Judd Gregg, a Republican, or Senator Evan Bayh, a Democrat, who both sounded...
Okay, it sounds like they're all kind of in agreement with what I was talking about. Somebody just asked the best way to sell out of crypto as we go higher. Okay, I do have theories on that. You know me, I've always got thoughts, and I'm very willing to share them. And I posted some of this earlier to to subscribers only on X. If you guys subscribe on X, you get stuff I don't show anywhere else, okay? So I said, I'll show it for now, though. One of the many different tools we'll use to time the top of crypto is the MBRV Z-score. As you can see, it's done a perfect job showing tops for Bitcoin over the last 10 years. When it hits red, sell. And this was harder to use. Some of these tools were better during Bitcoin's infancy, but this was harder to do because you had all these micro cycles when Bitcoin was younger, because it was just moving so much faster. It wasn't just a halving event. It was just crazy amount of volatility. They'd have a meetup and then tell people about Bitcoin, and then everybody would buy Bitcoin and move the price like 30%. So you got to realize in the beginning days it was a little weird. But if you look more more recently here, like the mid-cycle pump in 2013, you'll see that this thing almost perfectly called the top. When it got to red, it was like time to get the fuck out. And then over here in 2014, when it really did peak for the cycle, when it got to red, it was time to get the fuck out. Over here, when it got to it again, it was time to get out. And again, I'm sorry, 2017, it was time to get out. And this moved quickly. If you look at this line, about the time it was like at 10,000, 12,000, it was telling you to get out. Now, again, you could have taken your time. There's the whole wait till the cycle peaks, have some money on the sidelines, buy the dip when it drops 30, 35%, let it bounce again, make that 50%, and then exit when you have these as confirmation. And there's a ton of different tools like this. There's so many good ones. But again, if you look here, I guess that doesn't give me a lot more real estate. If you look over here, when it hit red, you could have gotten out with Bitcoin in the 60,000 mark Even though I do think that the Fed neutered it and it prevented us from having the second sweep where we would have got to 100K last time. But if you were being really conservative, you could have got out there and that would have actually really played out well, right? So we could do that same thing. And this is as of now, guys. This is where we are right now. This little tiny spot right down here is where we are. So if you're worried right now, guys, about the end coming for the Bitcoin cycle, there's absolutely no math to back that up in any way whatsoever at all. So don't be worried.
Very similar messages when they were leaving the Senate that it wasn't.
And I have a lot more to talk about with Bitcoin today. Bitcoin, some Tesla news, really good stuff that will make you bullish as fuck.
Civil. I want to thank you for being that voice, and I want to ask you who you think is going to carry on.
Yeah, I did portfolio allocation on Discord. I thought I did. Did I not put it on there? Oh, I didn't. I did not. That's my bad. That's my bad. Okay. I got it over here on X. I didn't put it over there. My bad. Okay. This is the image. This is 2 days old. Again, I might have a way to do this every day. I'm not quite there yet, but I'm working on it. So yeah, there you go. It's in Discord. Sorry about that, dude. If that happens in the future, let me know. All right, back to it.
In that tradition with you leaving.
You're welcome.
Well, I'm hoping there's others to step up to the plate. As I look back, we had great success working together, Democrats and Republicans in the 117th Congress. As you recall, 50-50, we decided we wanted to do something. So it gave unordinary opportunities to 5 or 10 of us in the middle. 5 Ds, 5 Rs, we could sit down. We had an ability to move an agenda. And you can either sit there and get nothing done and say it can't happen, or you can do it. We were able to get things accomplished, and we did some great things. What happened, the administration, the Biden administration, took it further than that and tried to basically adopt rules that were not in line or in sync with the bill that we passed. And I'm hoping that the President Trump and his administration can correct some of that. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. There's some good stuff in there, especially in energy, what was done. And if you want to rename it, the energy security.
Walter said, hey, Jesse, any plans to share those metrics with Discord members? Yes, I will. I will try. That particular post, probably not. There's going to be stuff I post on X that doesn't get shared over, but there will be metrics. I can't really, I'll have to figure out how I want to dump them into Discord. I'll probably just create categories for them and update them every once in a while. But again, I got a bunch of memberships, and I'm probably going to add more. I'm thinking about doing Darius Dale from 42 Macro and checking out his work. But I subscribe to a ton of shit right now, guys, like tons and tons of things. Macro Micro is like this site where you can get a bunch of different data points. It's awesome. I've got Glassnode from the crypto side. I've got Speechify to be able to translate and make things easier and just be able to listen, because that's how I learn. I got Fundstrat. I've got just a bunch of different subscriptions. But I'll probably look at trying to dump in some way those within the Discord under that Bitcoin section. I'll try and do something in there too.
Security Act is really what we should be dealing with, energy security for our country. How do we do it and implement it? Also looking for the future, a future of generation of energy, but also meeting the demands of the current economy that we have in the current defense of our country.
Well, Senator,
how do you do it? There's people there.
You're gone. Senator Sinema's gone. One of your most important. I know, but one of your most important priorities was the filibuster, and you were steadfast, and that was on the ballot.
Yeah.
And it didn't turn out that way. It's not going to happen. The other thing is you probably stopped the Green New Deal from being 10 times as onerous and large as it would have been. And then you got the rug pulled out from you on permitting. And I think you got scolded for talking about inflation because it was supposed to be transitory. So you've got a laundry list of items that, I don't know, that maybe I wouldn't come back if I were you.
Well, I don't want to say I told you so, but it was pretty evident. I mean, you all talked about it too. Just inflation was happening because we were sending checks to everybody. We had them all sequestered into their home to where they couldn't move because of the pandemic. And then when we did have a vaccine that worked, we weren't putting people back to work. We were giving them the protection.
Yeah, the whole fucking COVID pandemic thing was bullshit. I don't even care about that. Let's see. I'll catch up on this later and see if it's anything of value. I don't really want to talk about it too much more. I do want to hear what Brian Armstrong has to say. And somebody said, yeah, I'll probably buy MSTU on the dip if it dips. Otherwise, I'll look at other things too. Probably Bitcoin though. That's where I'm going to apply a lot of capital. Again, thank you for that play. Up 50% in a day was wild. Yeah, you're welcome. Fuck the bankers. Like that name. Julian Battelle from Real Vision has some great macro views that convey really well. Okay. Oh, yeah, Julian. I haven't listened to him in a while. Yeah, Real Vision's pretty good. They've gotten a few macro plays like way wrong. I've done a lot better in some of that, but I love listening to different data points, especially that are summarized with data and graphs. So the more of that we get, the better. I already looked at Celsius and Enphase. I don't like either one of them, Roman. Sorry, bud. You could go back in the video, though, and take a look. So, Walter, there is a Discord bot that allows you to automatically share posts from Twitter account. Yeah, I already have that. I do have that, but some of these things that I'm posting in X are content that I believe will only show on X. So if you look over here, there's socials. You can see YouTube alerts and X alerts. I've got bots for both of those. But again, if there's things that I post that are subscriber only on X, I don't think it's going to bring those over in a way that you'll be able to see it without being subscribed. Let me see if it's on here. I'm trying to see if it's showing it. Yeah, see, I don't think I see the post. I don't see, yeah, so subscriber posts don't come over. So those will be exclusive to the other one. But again, there's things that I can do on Discord to replicate some of this. But if you want really the up-to-date information, I live in X. Discord is a great place to be able to have channels for all the things that we talk about, and for the community to communicate with each other, and me to pop in every once in a while to see my trades, to see my portfolio allocation, to see charts on a whole bunch of stuff. Again, I've got to add more, but like Enphase, you can see the dialogue that people have. You can see my pinned charts up here too and pull them up for everything that I share out. And then I'm going to be adding a bunch of crypto-related ones. I'm going to be adding a bunch of bond-related stuff, other macro stuff. I can't really... Some of these Glassnode metrics, if I find ones that are available for public consumption, I'll share those out too under the Bitcoin section. But they kind of serve different purposes. If you were all in for memberships, you'd be paying like $12 a month, $5 for X, $5 for Discord, and then $2 for YouTube for the starter pack new. But I think it would be a worthy investment. I think it's a lot cheaper than the $2,400 that what's his name, Meet Kevin charges for his courses, which is probably outrageous. All right. Hey, Jesse, can you unblock me on X? Let me, or Biden team. I am in Discord. Yeah. What's your ID, Eddie? If you tell me your ID, I can unblock you on X. I'm going to play this, though. I want to hear what Brian Armstrong has to say from Coinbase.com.
Welcome back to Squawk Box now for our second big crypto interview of the hour. Is Bitcoin now sitting above $85,000? We are joined by Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong. Shares
and 17 minutes until market open.
Of his company have rallied more than 60% since last week's election. This morning, he's announcing the launch of Coinbase 50 Index, which represents the top 50 digital assets listed on the Coinbase exchange. Good morning to you, Brian. It's great to have you in the broadcast. There's about 100 things I want to ask you, but let's just start with what's happening in crypto post this election. And maybe it's the same question I asked of Vlad earlier. As you sort of look out on the horizon now, given President-elect Trump and his administration and his ambitions and plans, what is it that you see happening exactly?
Yeah, well, good to see you, Andrew. I mean, one of the most exciting things about this new Congress, which is the most pro-crypto Congress ever, is that I think we finally have a chance to get some regulatory clarity in the U.S. about some of these big open issues that, you know, frankly, under Gary Gensler, we just haven't gotten any clarity for a long time. So which of these assets are commodities, which of them are securities? That requires the SEC and the CFTC to come together and collaborate on rulemaking, or to have Congress really step in and pass new legislation. So there's an opportunity to do that. The FIT 21 bill, which passed with strong bipartisan.
Oh, what the actual fuck. Look at this, guys. I want to show this to you real quick. Sorry, we'll get back. This is a stopper, though. So look at what Tom Lee posted. This is from Michael Saylor an hour ago. I'm just going to share this real quick. This is so crazy. Look at this. That's so nuts. One sec. Let me just save this real quick. Yeah, there we go. I don't want to forget it. So this year, MicroStrategy Treasury operations delivered a BTC yield of 26.4%, providing a net benefit of 50,000 Bitcoin to our shareholders. This is the equivalent of 157 Bitcoin per day. So when people tell me that MicroStrategy isn't a miner, I just want to reiterate, they kind of are, okay? Without the operational costs or capital investments typically associated with Bitcoin mining. Dude, what the fuck? I love this. I love this. I love this. We still need miners. Miners are going to be a multiple that will be even higher, okay? But you gotta appreciate the beauty of this. It's very important. Appreciate it.
Partisan support in the House earlier this year. It's now making its way through the Senate, and with any luck, we'll get that passed through the Senate and make it to the president's desk here, either in the lame duck or early in the Trump administration.
Brian, we've obviously seen Bitcoin move materially, obviously, in the past week, really, even more so, even before that, given sort of the run up and maybe expectation that President Trump was going to win this election. When you think, though, about the other currencies, I mean, they're the ones I would imagine at this point that have the bigger room to move, or no?
Well, I think Bitcoin will be the most important crypto asset for a long time. It's got a lot of runway to move as well. But what's exciting about this Coin 50 index that we launched is that people are increasingly becoming aware that it's not just about Bitcoin. There are dozens, hundreds of different assets in crypto that are now, they've met our listing standards, they've made it onto our exchange. And actually, there's thousands of these being created every day, believe it or not. And so some of these they're coins like Ton and WorldCoin, which are being used in emerging markets. There's things like in the DeFi space, or like Uniswap, that people want exposure to, or the things that are layer 2 solutions are being built on top of, like Optimism. And I think we're eventually going to get to a world where there's millions of these tokens. Every project, every individual, every meme on the internet is going to have one of these. And of course, every company, when they want to raise money, as we get regulatory clarity around securities and have a clear path for that, they should be issuing these coins as well. And so increasingly, people are going to want broad market exposure to crypto. It's going to be the next version of the stock market, but it's also the next version of the internet. And so that's why it's so important for us to have launched this canonical market index, Coin 50, for people who want exposure to.
I want to say something. So it's gonna be the new stock market. It's gonna be the new internet in regard to truth. It's gonna be the new money, at least store of value. It's Bitcoin and crypto are going to digitize everything, and you won't be able to confirm truth without them. So yeah, it's just, he's right.
To the broad market of crypto, not just one asset.
And you're now talking about some of these tokens being used for example, IPOs, something that was sort of taken off the table during even the Jay Clayton era when people started to think about using them that way. I mean, that would upend so much of the financial industry, no?
Well, I think it's important that crypto is really just a technology to update the financial system writ large. And one of the areas in the financial system that could be improved dramatically, I think, is capital formation. There's lots of different people. They're trying to build an apartment complex. They're trying to start their next tech startup. They want to raise money from investors. And today there's instances where people are trying to raise money for their real estate project, whatever, and they're paying 11% in financing fees to various organizations to package that together. And so that's just one more area on a long list that crypto could update the financial system. Now, those are going to be securities, right? So we need to have a clear path for people to register crypto securities. There's disclosures to figure out. There's, how do you make sure that these are accredited investors when they need that? And so we, along with the rest of the crypto industry, are working on ways to do that. For the last 4 years, we've been, really the door's just been shut in our face. Any kind of productive conversation about how to make that happen in a trusted and compliant way, they've just been totally unwilling to engage in that conversation. And so it's really the dawn of a new crypto era with this election that just happened, because it's the most pro-crypto Congress ever. We had 268 pro-crypto candidates elected to the House. All 9 new senators that got elected had either an A or a B rating on standwithcrypto.org. And of course, in the White House with President Trump, there's a full-throated endorsement of crypto. And so we couldn't be in a better position to finally get some clarity and start to rebuild the crypto industry in America again.
100%. And on that note, I just wanted to say something. Who let the dogs out today? We got Nero, we got Bonk, and we got Doge. 24%, 20%. I own a bunch of dogs. I might have to check those profits. Looking good.
Brian, I'm curious about what you think of this. There is a perception, I think probably real, that the crypto industry had a huge influence on this election, not just the presidential election, but elections around the country when it comes to Congress and the like. There was huge amounts of money that was spent by members of the crypto community, including yourself. And there's a question about money in politics and whether that influence is a good thing. How do you think about it?
Yeah, so I think there's no question there was a lot of money involved from the crypto industry, and there was also a lot of voters who came together in a grassroots movement. So, we don't set the rules of the game, but that's how the game is played in the United States.
Thanks,
and
Tony.
I think it was important for us to show up, defend our customers' rights. But they also showed up as a huge voting bloc, and it's important for the crypto industry to have gotten organized. We helped this by funding groups like Stand With.
Remember the bullshit narrative about how Bitcoin and crypto would do fine under Kamala? And after Trump wins, what happens? We just see them skyrocket. I think there's pretty definitive response from the Bitcoin and crypto market on who they preferred.
Crypto.org, which got to almost 2 million advocates in the United States who raised their hand and said they wanted to elect pro-crypto candidates. We're going to continue to support them after the election. They've taken a stretch goal and said they want to get to 4 million advocates in the U.S. by the 2026 midterms. Even Fairshake, the super PAC that we donated.
Again, I wasn't even going to look at TLT because I wouldn't trust. Would you trust a 10 or a 20 or a 30-year bond if Kamala won the presidency? Fuck no, you wouldn't. Nobody would. The world would be like, oh, America's going to go bankrupt. That woman spent like fucking $10 million to get Beyonce to endorse her and like $5 million for that other hoochie mama. I can't remember her name. I mean, they got Eminem for 1.5, so I think he was probably a steal, or 1.2. But they paid these people for their endorsements. And how well did that work out? Jesus. Doge market cap larger than Ford. Yeah, that's retarded, but whatever. Such as crypto.
Yeah,
Meg the Stallion. Yeah, her. Yeah.
We've raised an additional almost
whatever. Cardi B, Meg the Stallion. I don't know the fucking difference, bro. I don't really listen to any of that. And I've never liked Cardi B whatsoever. I like that one lady. Who's the other one with the big ass? She's like back in the day. Kind of like Cardi B was trying to be her. Do you guys know who I'm talking about here? I like her. She's actually a really great person. I forget her name. It's been so many years, but Nicki Minaj, thank you. Nicki Minaj is actually a wonderful person, okay? Not Lizzo. No, fuck her. She needs to go on a diet. But Nicki Minaj is actually a really great person. She literally helps fund kids to college programs like all the time. She's got a brain. She's not a blithering idiot. Cardi B is just one of the dumbest, trashiest hoes I've ever seen. Just ridiculous. So she's not a good representation of what a person should be at all. At least Nicki Minaj might dress and act like a hoe, but she's very cool. I like her.
50 million of capital.
Fun conversation.
The election.
Oprah said she didn't get paid, and then it shows her Harpo received $1 million. Really? I didn't know that. That's funny.
And looking forward to the midterms. So, I think it's really important
Yeah, guys, where else do you get segues like this?
keep showing up as a crypto industry on these policy issues. It's important for the future of America. And look, in my personal judgment, I would prefer that the government.
Somebody said Kamala was hot.
Smaller, and there was less ability for people to go in there and influence it. But because we have this big government, and that's how the rules.
Yeah, let's see how classy Cardi B is. Should we do that? Let's just take a quick segue here, guys. Let's see if we can see how classy is Cardi B. She's such an interesting person. Let's find her. There's one post I want to see. Oh my God. What? Oh, okay. I can't look at any of this. My bad. Evidently, there's a lot of Cardi B on X. So we're moving on.
Rules have been set. Both money and the grassroots movement of voters coming together are super important.
Like I said,
What do you think about Donald Trump's World Liberty Financial crypto project?
You know, I haven't looked into it too
sorry
deeply,
about that.
to be honest. I'm glad everybody's interested in crypto. That's great, but I don't have too much to say on that particular one, having not looked at it.
We're going to have to run, but I got to ask. Elon Musk saying that he thinks the Fed needs to maybe come under Trump or the White House or have less independence.
Don't look up Cardi
disagree?
B, guys.
You know, I don't have too strong an opinion on that, but I will say.
Do you guys get this with Meet Kevin? Never, right?
That there's a massive issue in the United States with the deficit, with inflation, and I do think that Bitcoin is a check and
I hope not
balance
today,
on,
JT.
Irresponsible deficit spending, and to really extend the American experiment for a couple hundred more years, it's important that we don't devalue the dollar, lose the reserve currency status, and that's a big reason why people are buying Bitcoin now.
Brian Armstrong, great to see you. Really appreciate you joining us this morning.
Great to see you.
You know, the sad part is Brian Armstrong probably dropping tons of bombs right there. Really good stuff. We didn't catch like anything after Cardi B.
Squawk coming right back after this.
Gonna get in trouble from the YouTubes, I think, with that. I'm gonna have to clip out that part of the video for show. Oh God, yeah, Meet Kevin. That would have been not as much fun. Plus, he's wrong all the time. You could like the inverse Meet Kevin is gonna make somebody a lot of money. God. All right, let's see what else we got going on. I'm gonna mute here real quick. I'm gonna bring to live because I don't think they've done much of anything. We got 3 minutes. 3 minutes till open. Let's see how things are going. Let's just zoom in here. We'll do the stock market heat map index. Just see what pre-market's looking like. A little bit of pre up in here. It's looking pretty red. A little pretty red. China, not a good day for Baba. How's Baba doing? Let's see how this shitty Baba is doing. Our options not good. I don't like them, dude, because bonds are normally such a slow moving device that takes like years to occur. And then you add an option on top of it. I might use TMF, which is kind of like an option. I mean, it's a rebalancing and it's got theta decay. It's a 3x TLT. I might use it for simplicity later, but I don't know, man. If I do options, it's going to be because the bond TLT stayed low for a lot longer than now, maybe till spring or something. Or maybe I'll just be lazy and just do a TMF off of it. Look at Baba. God. If this was any other stock, I would tell you this is bullish. But I can't. And people that bought at 115, 17 are now down to 92. And it could go all the way down here to 85. It could, dude. It could go to, I don't want to say zero, but like China's in so much pain. It's sad that they took this company from Jack Ma. It's just such a waste. Let's look at the watch list, though. Bell in 2 minutes. Yeah. We got it up. We're waiting on it. We got it up. We got it mic'd up, ready to go. Ready to go. Let's look at the Bitcoins, though. Let's look at the Bitcoins. It still looks really healthy, honestly. And then we'll do the watch list over here. Let's do this too. Bring it to here. Maybe do the daily just to see the retrace. Totally a normal retrace. This is pretty much what you can expect. Not even a blow off top in any way. Volume isn't even greater than what we saw over here. It's just a nothing burger. But yeah, let's sort by. Hey, Meta's up. Nvidia up. Biddy up. We got the Biddy. The inverse play. And then let's see what we got here. We'll sort this one more time. 7.81% down on Cypher. Riot's down. CleanSpark's down. I might actually look at some miners, maybe? Or maybe I'll add a little more Hood. I don't know. Maybe MU. I was looking to add more MU. I might do more Micron, honestly. What do you think of the pullback? I don't think it's very low at all.
A very quick mad dash. We got an opening
Oh,
bell
here we go, guys.
a few seconds from now.
You know Michael Nathanson from Moffett
I
Nathanson.
do.
They come up with some things talking about X.
Maybe I'll do
bit
Bitfarms.
for Alphabet.
Maybe.
X, the reality
We might at least check it
labs
out.
For Meta, you have two stocks that are selling at 18 times earnings. So it's time to buy
I don't really like Ethereum.
both.
Yeah, it's hard to find what to add to. I like Micron, ARGT, and maybe ARCG right now. Those are my things. With ARGT in the beginning.
All right.
There we go, guys.
Let's get
Market
the opening
open.
Bell here in the CNBC real-time
Technically, it
exchange with
happened,
the
so I'm
big
gonna hop
board.
over here.
It's Madison Square Garden and the UFC. Hall of Fame fighter Frankie Edgar.
Oh yeah, Walter. Let me see what they are.
The Nasdaq, it is Cirrus Logic, a semiconductor company celebrating 35 years listed on the exchange.
Nice. All right, you guys are already boring me. That's all we really do for the opening bell. So Say is down 12%. Injective is, I think, layered. Is that in layer 2? Yeah, layer 2s. Layer 2s for Ethereum, not doing really well today. ARB is in there too. Atom, like really just shit coins, I think, in general are getting beat up today. So again, the most speculative of speculatives are getting hit a little bit. Tesla looking like it might already come around. But the dogs are doing well today, guys. The dogs are doing really good. Let's resort this again. So we got Bonk and Doge up in the house. We got U.S. oil up a little bit. That won't last. We got VIX volatility up a little bit. That probably won't last either. The dollar's up. That probably won't last. ARGT's up. I actually want that to go down. I don't love Ethereum. Watch James from Invest Answers. He talks about Solana and why it's the simpler, more first principles approach, and why it's better. And it's got way more volume, and it's got more developers on it now, and it's just easier to use for developers. And I just think, with Ethereum, I think it's too complicated. It was a great first stab, but I don't love it. MU down almost 5% on the day. Oh yeah, what was that news? You said there was news. There was news from the MU. Let's look here. I want to see what that is. Is it worth buying, or should I not buy more? Ooh, it's down 6%. All right, let me just zoom down here. Micron's potential HBM is massive with expected market share growth. Okay, that's not helpful. MU, semi name that has bottomed accumulation. Look, however, I do actually think we're in a really good bottoming zone. Micron Edge pre-market as Edgewater predicts softer outlook in 2025. Micron shares are slightly down after Edgewater Research, which specializes in industry and supply chain insights, lowered its price forecast for NAND and DRAM. The firm anticipates Micron's outlook to weaken further in the first half of 2025. Shares down approximately 2.4%. This is misleading as Micron will make record revenue and see. Yeah, maybe. Huh, fascinating. I might actually buy some. Let me see over here. I'm gonna look. I need to spend money. How am I gonna spend my money this morning? Let me hop over here real quick, guys. Are you seeing a cup and handle in 20? I actually like the Micron chart. I don't hate. Let me pull it up real quick here. I'll just go here, over to here. Save ARCG. ARCG's down 3% too. Nice. MU. I don't hate this chart on Micron though. Here's why. You can see where Micron wants to break above this fib, this 110 mark, and where it's found support off of previous highs. So I think Micron's actually set up really good, and I think it's a good dividend play too. So I don't hate it. I'm actually looking at maybe adding a little bit of capital, a little more capital to it today. I added some yesterday. I wish I would have put more of that into ARGT, but I'm probably going to pick up just maybe another 100 shares of Micron, another 10 or 11 grand today, just for the fun of it. All right, bought. And then, what else should I buy today? Everything's on sale. Let me get some of the sales. Yeah, yesterday was a good day. Let's see, what else is down today? ARGT's up 0.31%. I find it hard to buy ARGT when it's up by that much. MSTU is down 4.67. That doesn't seem that low. CleanSpark's down 9% for the actual stock. Huh. That's kind of fascinating. Might look at buying some of that. Maybe. Mara's down 5%. I already have so much CleanSpark. I have like $600,000 in CleanSpark, maybe a little less. I have so much already, I'm probably not going to. I might buy like some BITX, a 2X on Bitcoin, or MSTU again because I sold it yesterday and now I'm buying the dip. We'll see. Maybe I will. What is MSTX or what is MSTR at? What is the premium right now? Thoughts on Tesla? I love Tesla. It's like one of my favorite things. I don't know if I have much outside of that. Oh, let's see. We are at, what are we at right now on MicroStrategy? What is it at? Outstanding shares. The price multiple is 2.84. That's actually not bad. It's not bad. I'm kind of frozen. I need to buy something. Everything's bouncing already. Damn it. Drop. All right. I might buy. I'm just going to get some MSTU. What the heck? I'm going to buy a little more of that. How much is it? 200? Will that give me anything? Oh, I can't even get 100, can I? Can I get 100? Let me see here. How much is that? No. Oh. What? Would be funny if Tesla breaks above 350 today. Oh, dude, I think everything's still going up. Melissa Yu says, is Enphase still a buy? I actually don't like Enphase right now. I just don't know the business well enough to feel good about it. PayPal holding up pretty good. Yeah, you're right, actually. Everything actually looks like it's really holding up good. It's too good. Damn it. I'd like more stuff to drop. I think I'm going to buy. I'll just get some BITX. I'll keep it simple. We're going to keep it simple. Get a little BITX in here. How much of that can I get? 200? Oh, yeah, that's plenty. I'll get 300. All right, so I bought 300 shares of BITX, down about 2.5% on the day. And then I bought MU down whatever it was down. I think it was 6% or something at the time. I bought 100 shares of those. So I will post that real quick. And then I probably won't do this stuff in the live chat anymore. So that way people join. Because when you join, I get cooler stuff like that $250 a month fund strat setup, which is pretty sweet. And then again, I might get Darius Dale. I'm trying to get really good summaries of all of everybody else's work just to be able to look at it and then bounce it off my own. I think that's a good idea. I think that's helpful and should benefit everyone. All right, Discord. Make sure I do it here too. Just got to get it to where. God dang it. I'm just going to dump this one. No notes this time, guys. No notes. All right, let me get back over here. See what chat's doing. Clean Spark recovered 40% in 30 seconds. Yeah, right? The dip that disappears. Fund strat is just 250, not 500. No, I got it for 250. I mean, maybe it's higher. I don't know. I think it's 250 though. That's what I paid. And I get so I get the crypto insights and I get their latest research. Let me see if there's anything new today. Yeah, it looks like they got a new thing. Liquidity post-election dynamics came to a 4. All right, so yeah, they got something new. TSMC they're talking about. But yeah, it seems interesting. And that's if you get crypto too. If you don't do crypto, it's cheaper. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's cheaper. I do have a referral link, so if you guys are interested, check out my post I did on X. I should get the daily report of Value Analyst 1. Who is that? Oh, Yaman? Is it worth it? Here, I'll just subscribe to him. No way. What? $249 a month? For this guy? I don't know what I get for that. Yeah, I don't know. MicroStrategy almost positive. Yeah, I believe it. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. We'll see if it's worth paying that price. I can tell you the value I'm getting right now from Tom Lee is really great. So what's down the most? We got Soul Strategies down a ton. Oh, and again, the shit coins pretty much. Huh. Let's see here. Flux is up, but Flux got destroyed yesterday. I don't even know if that's a good company anymore. I gotta talk to Rex. It sounds like he's gonna have Fred Thiel. Rex Finance guys is gonna have Fred Thiel on his channel Friday. So that'll be interesting. What do I think about Riot? I don't know. I like CleanSpark better, personally. So that's where I would be. Square is up 2.61 today. Meta's up 2. Nvidia's up 1.5. Jim Cramer's talking about Honeywell. Not sure that anybody cares. Best Buy's up, so you know the sky isn't falling. HIMS is down again. Ouch. I think it had a good run yesterday, though, so I shouldn't say that. Robinhood up 1.2%. What a beast. PayPal up 0.3. So we're seeing the market actually already kind of recover. What are we seeing for Tesla? Where are you at, Tessie? Tesla's down 1.88. That's not bad. I'm trying not to get overloaded with a bunch of info. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to find more signal than noise. Things where I don't feel like I'm getting value, I just don't even pay attention to. Elliott took $5 billion stake in Honeywell. Yeah, I don't know enough about it. Jim Cramer, laughed my office off. Jim Cramer made me laugh, lol. Yeah. You don't like cores? No, I don't like companies that have already been bankrupt once. That's just not a good look. And then let's see how Cores is doing financially, guys. They're not holding any Bitcoin. They've been bankrupt once already. They used to be the biggest Bitcoin miner on the planet that was publicly traded. Their Bitcoin production is falling off a cliff, so they're just dying. Their revenue is decreasing, and their net income is deeply in the red. They burned almost $500 million last quarter. Is there any, if there was any miner that I thought would actually fail this cycle, it would probably be, while the bull market's still happening, it would probably be Cores. Or they could be acquired, if there's anything worth buying anymore. So, no, I don't like Cores. I think it's a really shitty company. I don't know why anybody would give it a $4.7 billion valuation when you can compare it to Mara. These guys have no Bitcoin at all. And they still do a hosted with their self. It's just a fucking disaster. But this tells you everything about them. They were mining 4,300 Bitcoin a day. Or I'm sorry, in a month. Quarter. And now they're down to 1,100. So a 75% decrease in their production. I would think that would be enough for you to understand why they're shit. But if that's not enough to understand why they're shit, let's just compare them to Mara. So Mara's Bitcoin production, again, it's went down 4,200 down to 2,000, right? Like they're not great. You've had the halving. That takes a lot. But I'll take a 50% reduction in production versus 75. If you don't understand how math works, 75 is way worse. Also, what was their burn? They burnt 200 million. But here's where they really excel. Look at revenue. Look at revenue here. Look at how close their revenue was to the previous quarters, even though they had the halving event in there. And then this is one of the things that is just the best part, okay? Their Bitcoin holdings keep going up and up and up and up, right? And so I don't even think this is current right now. But if you look here, Bitcoin held in Q2 of 2024 was 1.15 billion. So they get to benefit from all of that. All the price action of Bitcoin going up, they'll get to benefit from that this quarter, whereas others won't. So yeah, I don't like Cores. I think it's trash. Paul says, is there a good reason to look at stocks rather than alts? Yeah. Most alts are complete and utter trash, whereas you stand a better chance of getting a stock that isn't complete and utter trash. Now, for a multiple of return, you could see a higher multiple of return from alts, but I would just buy MicroStrategy or a miner instead. Then you're betting on Bitcoin. Don't buy Cores, though. Cores is shit. Adam, mining is a competitive business and they dilute shareholders hard. Awful business. Just buy Bitcoin instead. No, that's not true. So Adam, buy Bitcoin instead. Yes, definitely. At the end of a cycle, you buy Bitcoin instead. You buy miners at the beginning of a cycle because you get a 3 to 5x. Some of the miners were at a 6x multiple of Bitcoin's, the underlying asset, at the beginning of this year. So I don't think that's good advice. You want to own miners. You want to own the multiple while the market's going up, and then you want to get the fuck out. Okay? Just like gold. This is what people did with gold forever. You bought the gold miners. You didn't buy gold. But then, eventually you do buy gold. I mean, nobody buys gold anymore, unless you're a boomer. SK, hey Jesse, can you explain iron would go up without any BTC holdings, unlike other miners? It's a bet on the HPC play, the high performance compute play. Iron is a better play though. At least they've been expanding dramatically with their hash rate, so I like that. Sebastian Ski has really great work on them too. But if you look again, they've been hit. Q2 of 2023, they were doing 1,860. But if you look since then, like even after the halving, their production hasn't actually went down that much. Again, pre-halving was what? Q4 2023, 1144. Q2 of 2024, they did 821, and their hash has jumped a lot since. Plus, you're getting an HPC play, a high-performance compute play. So, I don't know. I think this one is okay for a high-performance compute play. But, again, I hate that they don't have Bitcoin holdings. They got some. It ain't enough. See this. Let me see. There's a few comments up here. Ryan, Jesse, thanks so much, man. Follow for 2 years, and I've finally learned a thesis and conviction. My Robinhood account started in March with 1,000. It hit over 110,000 yesterday. Wow, that's awesome, bro. I'm happy for you, man. That's a lot of money. Congratulations. Paul, thanks, Jesse. Silas, that stock versus altcoin question tells us that we have a bull market in crypto. Yes, because people are looking to jump to that right away. Ooh, the CEO of Shopify or president of Finkelstein on quarterly results for Shopify is talking. That's kind of interesting to me. I'm very interested to see how spending is doing going into this next quarter. And Shopify is probably a great representation of that. Adam, I'm doing that with MicroStrategy instead of miners. Yeah, MicroStrategy is a pretty clean play. You won't get the same multiple, most likely, even though it has dramatically outperformed so far this cycle. It should start to fall off as people jump into the lower market cap, higher risk plays. Whiskey, Jesse, MicroStrategy for the long run. If by long run, no. I mean, like when the bear market kicks in, I wouldn't be holding it. I would hold Bitcoin. I always add to my physical holdings of Bitcoin at the end of a cycle. This cycle could be different. I hate to say that. It could be. And we'll be monitoring all that along the way. JQ, hey, Jesse, can you give any input on Wolf? I don't like it, but I mean, plenty of people do, and it'll probably perform really good. I don't give a fuck about most of the miners, guys. They're all kind of the same shit with a different cap and a different multiplier and maybe different pros and con lists. But in a bull market, it's like all the shit floats to the top, okay? So turds float. So it doesn't really matter if I like it. Tech YYZ, what are your top or what's my top on CleanSpark? A lot higher than today. All of the miners are a lot higher than today. If Bitcoin goes to 280K, like I think it could, they're going to be just stupid. But follow the underlying asset. That's what matters. And then you figure out when to get out of the miner. Simon Bravo, you think $150,000 price target for BTC is the moment to switch from? I think it's the time to get out of the majority of your multipliers. So if you've got miners, if you've got options, you should be getting out of all that shit at 150K. You should start hedging into TLT and other investments like Argentina and maybe some other investments. You should definitely start that transition because you don't want to be left holding the bag. And I'll be talking about my plans the whole way, guys. I know everybody wants the answer right now, but the way things look in 6 months will drastically impact my response to the questions that you guys are asking. And we've got all the tools. I showed you a couple of them, okay? Gregory, can you explain why I saw a post that 89,000 was resistance level when it has no volume history there? I don't know. No, I can't. I don't have the post. so I can't. Frank, the 3-month, and you do have the ability to post the post in this chat, by the way. So if you give me some context, then I can maybe talk to it. Frank, the 3-month chart on MSTU is unbelievable. I know. Well, I mean, MSTR is unbelievable, and then MSTU is a multiple of that. So yeah. Daniel Dibb, my biggest problem is moving my minor gains into another stock. Everything seems to be up, and ARGT is available in my European broker. I really believe in Argentina strongly. Iron is trash. Iron is not trash. I don't care if it's trash. I do own some. I've got 6 figures in it. This whole fanboying and fangirling towards your favorite miner thing is the most retarded shit ever, in my opinion. Michael Nunez, thank you for joining, sir. I just don't understand why people spend so much time on miners. It's like the most boring fucking conversation ever, in my opinion. And I used to have a mining warehouse. I had a warehouse where I had Bitcoin miners in them. So I think I can speak to it a little bit. Hey, Jesse, did you spoke about NNDM? I don't know what that is. I think I remember it, but no, I haven't. I could probably look at... I really want to see the site show. We'll get back to some of these other conversations in a second, guys. I do want to hear... why do you think Bitfarms moved earnings to tomorrow? I don't know, Mike. Could be nothing. They might not have had their financials in order. I want to hear what we're hearing about Shopify. I want to know what's going on with sales and predictions for the future. Looks like Shopify's up a lot. Did they have earnings today?
Us, you were spending out of strength. I believed you. People thought you were spending out of weakness. Completely wrong. How much did it help that
my boy Tanner's going to love this.
Here?
Yeah, I mean, I think what you're seeing, Jim, is that we continue to deliver some of the strongest results in the industry quarter after quarter. If you look at our sort of key metrics, GMV, which is, of course, the sales by our merchants, a proxy for how merchants...
All right, so I want to hear this, guys, and let me see if this is updated. Is this updated with the latest data? Yeah, I might have to move this off screen and over because it doesn't seem to take the cookies well. So I end up having to log out and log back in. So give me 1 second here. I'll try and see if I can get this to come up. Visual. 1 sec here. Retarded. All right, well, give me 1 second. I'm going to play that, and I'm going to try and find this.
Are doing was up
and see if I have the latest visual stocks data.
24% to $69 billion. Our revenue is up 26%, but also gross profit grew 24%. Operating income more than doubled from last year, and free cash flow margin expanded to 19%. So what you're seeing is we're able to deliver both on growth.
Yeah, it's more like 92, but it doesn't matter. I mean, when you get close, you get close. I don't think we're stopping here, though.
And on margins, and we're gaining shares in a very vast and a very thriving market, and it's working.
Now, I do believe that you have come out with a thesis about what's going on right now that I just love. The cost, you have lowered the cost of failure rather dramatically. So people who can take side hustles, make into the real deal. The passionate people are able to take your site and go soup to nuts. It's working.
That's right. And what you're actually seeing is more merchants are coming to Shopify across verticals, industries, geographies, and size. So while we're the place to start a small business, someone that has an idea in the shower, decides to get it started, we are the default place to do so. At the same place, we're seeing companies like Reebok, Off-White, Hanes, On Running, Victoria's Secret also come to Shopify. And ultimately, the key to this is making it really easy to get started. And as you scale, you have everything you need to future-proof your business. When you think about the scale we have now with millions of stores on the platform doing $69 billion, we're also able to supplement that with incredible merchant solutions, whether it's payments or it's capital or our financial services. And so we're effectively creating this unified retail operating system. And it's working really well.
Well, let's talk about the finance. On October 29th, just literally 14 days ago, you announced Shopify Finance, which I thought was brilliant. Are people already taking up on that one?
It's really cool. I mean, one of the things that we think is important about finances is making it really easy. So it's a new, intuitive, unified home for all our financial solutions, and it's built right into the admin. So whether it's access to balance or credit or capital or bill pay or tax, it's one place you can go to get everything you need. Now, this is similar to what we're doing with AI, for example. We're trying to make sure that merchants on Shopify have an unfair advantage, so that if it's things like product photography, AI makes that better. If it's responding to emails from customers, AI makes that better. So rather than looking at AI as one single part of Shopify, it's embedded across all of Shopify. And we take that same approach to all of our tools, which is why people come to our platform and they never leave.
All right, so let's talk about a recent slide that was in a Salesforce document. a deck, so to speak, about why customers trust Commerce Cloud. They're talking about how they have won business from you, Hasbro, Black Rifle, Reserve Bar, Pokemon, Solo Store. How do you respond to Mark Benioff saying, listen, we think that these guys are terrific, but we are winning share?
Yeah, I mean, we're not seeing that. We're seeing the opposite. We see on a consistent basis some of the large.
I think Bitcoin could come back to the 70s in a bear market. It sometimes touches the previous level. The previous high of the last cycle will be the new support zone of the new one. Now, this cycle could be a little different. It might not go as deep, but if it did that, it would be like a 60% decline. It'd be pretty deep, but again, for Bitcoin, that's nothing. Back when I started in this game, an 87% decline for Bitcoin or an almost 90% decline was a big deal for the cycle. So a 60% would be like chump change.
Largest brands are coming onto Shopify. You know, this quarter alone, 16 enterprise brands launched on Shopify. So yeah, we love our roster of homegrown stories, Gymshark, Viore.
Tesla is not a Bitcoin proxy in any way. In any way. Okay, real quickly, guys. Tesla's not a Bitcoin proxy. I don't know who is saying that. If they're saying it, they're retarded or just misinformed. Tesla has $1 billion in Bitcoin, and they have almost $34 billion in cash and bonds. So I don't know how the fuck that would be a proxy that would even remotely matter at all in any way.
Mattel, but we also like the fact that MeUndies and Vera Bradley and these, you know, much larger brands are coming to us also. Look, we're not trying to do everything to everyone. We do one thing and we do it better than anyone, which is commerce, retail. And what we're seeing is that what these big brands are looking for is one place to sell, not just online, but also offline across social media on places like YouTube. We announced a partnership with Roblox. We're now Shopify is powering commerce there as well.
Today.
This idea of creating a unified operating system for all
MSTX,
commerce is the reason why these
yeah.
big brands love us.
I think one of the reasons why your stock can go up so much is people still
Everything's
don't
going
understand
up
what you
again.
do, and that's because, as you say, Toby says
Crazy.
in the great video about how we're not trying to be your company. We're trying to be behind your company, which is a level of modesty that I greatly appreciate. For instance, if you wanted to start a product and it needs to be distributed, you guys have a relationship with Flexport, making it so that basically we take the taxes out, you ship, you don't have to worry about your warehouse, you handle everything. I don't think people understand the complexity of what you're offering because it seems so simple.
Think about this. If you were to pretend that Shopify was a single retailer, you aggregate all our stores, let's just say in the US alone, we'd be the second largest online retailer in America. Now, why does that matter? It matters because when we negotiate rates for things like shipping or payments, we are negotiating as if we're the second largest retailer. And instead of keeping
Parikshith, I don't I don't suggest anything because I'm not a financial advisor, but the only thing I'm looking to buy for options right now that I'm interested in is probably ARKG. But I'm looking to buy stock in ARGT. That's my first play that I'm most interested in. Then it's probably options in ARKG. And then it's MU, Micron, I still think too. And I actually picked up Micron and what else did I get today? Fuck, I don't remember. Let's look. I don't know. BITX. I got BITX too. So I bought some of that, like 20 grand or something. So I did a little bit of buying today, nothing too crazy. But yeah, that's the thesis. Yep, you're right.
Those economies of scale for ourselves, we're able to disseminate them and distribute them.
My audio's bad?
Shopify. That is.
Audio's bad right now? Or is it better? I hate it when it does that. Fuck, how did I fix this before? Is that any better? Is it the audio? Is it my audio? Or is it his audio? It's perfect on YouTube. Weird. All right. Okay. All right. So we're good. Okay. Whatever.
Is how you bend the curve. That is how you level the playing field so that everyone can be successful faster. And that's something that is unique to Shopify.
Well, I've got to tell you, I like to refer to the fact that your stock was getting killed when you're on last. You said, look, it's really a great opportunity. The people who were negative, they were dead wrong, Harley. Okay. I hope they were shorted, and now they have to figure out what to do, because I know what to do. Go buy your stock. Thank you, Harley Finkelstein, for coming on.
Thank you, Jim. Thanks as always.
Okay, excellent.
Opening gains have evaporated a bit. Dow's up about 14 points here, Jim, although holding on to 6,000. And maybe later we'll talk about some of the seasonality patterns we're watching really through inauguration, Goldman said yesterday.
No. Well, we still have to worry about the bonds, and bonds are going the wrong way today. So maybe we have to think, oh, wait a second. People are starting to think about that deficit, which is what they were so worried about, let's say, 10 days ago.
There's a look at the market at this opening hour as the Dow goes.
All right, I'm going to check a couple other things here real quick. I want to check the dollar. I want to check gold. I want to just check a few of these others. So the dollar's screaming higher. I said this. I thought I took this off. Is this not saving either? So I do wonder with the dollar if we're doing something like this where we're breaking out higher. I know I posted this yesterday, but this might be the same one where it doesn't update. But I do think something like this could happen where we could have a breakup or a breakdown in the dollar. I'm starting to lean towards it breaking out because of American exceptionalism and people just being really excited and needing more. So I'm going to try and save this. I don't know if it'll actually save. Jesse, you said you would probably be out of options on Hood by 34. Yeah, that was the plan. Again, things change all the time. Yeah, a little bit with Tanner, but honestly, it's just, I can't say that. It's probably a decent amount with Tanner, and then it's also, I said that. I said I'd be out of options with Hood at 34, but what's happened since that? We got Donald Trump elected as the president. The market is screaming higher, and I think that will continue because I think we're looking at pro-growth. I think we're looking at deregulation. I think we're looking at giving money to the people at the lowest ends of the spectrum that were on Social Security and that do tips. And that's not even just waiters and waitresses. That's like DoorDash and Uber and just a lot of jobs, right? So I think there's a lot of things that have changed recently for me that are allowing me to stay in the options contracts longer for Hood. Now, I do need to find new levels where I probably start to exit those more. Let me actually just pull up Hood here. But, my thesis has changed. Like I said, things change all the time, guys. You got to remember, this thing has been, we're not even close to the all-time high. It has been 1,200 days since this thing saw its all-time high. Okay? I want to start there. Let's just start there. Let's start with the 1,200 days since its all-time high. And in its current valuation, what is Hood at for market cap? 29 billion. What is Coinbase at? I'm willing to bet it's a lot more. And then I'm seeing Hood getting involved in everything. And again, Bitstamp, when they get 140 plus cryptos available in the spring, in Q1, that's going to be amazing. And I think it's going to be a really strong multiplier for them. So where we start to really hit resistance here is going to be probably about 40. And so now I'm actually okay with at least 40, right? Another 20% higher. And I think we could even see a push towards the 44 level. So if we got something like that, if we get a 40 to 44, then I'll probably be dialing out of options on Hood and looking to reallocate in other places. But it's just, there's so many positives. There's so many multipliers, guys, that have been added. I probably should talk about them real quick while I still have a few people here, since we're down in the low 700s now. But I need to pull some up. We need to look at some of these notes. They're good ones. Mucho says, look to buy my first Tesla with these gains. I know cars are depreciating assets, but I'll save money on car payments. Depending on where you live, Mucho, I pay a third because I charge at my house. And I'm paying like 12 cents a kilowatt hour. I pay a third of what I'd pay for gas, and there's no maintenance. So, it's pretty sweet. If you do it, I have a referral code. I will send it to you because I think I've still got it. If I don't have it, we can use somebody else's real quick. But if you do end up buying one, there you go, man. All right, let's get to some news-related stuff because we got things here and everybody's dropping off, and I want to kind of cover it. Now, since those people didn't stick around, they're going to miss out. Good for them. So a few things. Let's cover the political. There's so many good things. We just went over MicroStrategy and the massive yield they're producing. That in and of itself is crazy. Let's look at political stuff. So Republicans officially retain control of the U.S. House, giving the GOP a trifecta control of both chambers of Congress and the presidency. So this Republican administration has an amazing amount of power right now. They've got 9 more people in the House than the Senate, or than the Democrats do. And then they have majority in the Senate. And then also, too, I believe the vice president gets to, like, on deciding votes, I think they get to count 1, 2. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. And then you got the presidency, and you got the Supreme Court, and you've got a gain for governors, and you've got a gain for judicial. There's just a massive amount, guys, a massive amount. So this is big. This is big, and it's a huge positive for the United States. Also, Farzad said, this is kind of interesting. He said the humanization of Trump has to be one of the greatest political campaigns of all time. For years, we were led to believe that Trump was a bigot, a loving Nazi that was constantly saying incredibly racist and sexist things at every rally. Trump's campaign used this to their advantage. They let Trump go on the largest podcast in the world, unfiltered, for hours on end. The public got to see that the dude wasn't half bad. Whoa, Manny, 50 memberships. See, this is what happens if you stick around, guys. Thank you so much, Manny. You're awesome. You guys can talk and chat now for a month because of Manny. Make sure you thank him, guys. But Sela says it almost feels like Trump is already in office. I know, right? He's moving so quickly. But again, I do agree that this was a really important move. And it was bad of the Democrats to constantly say that Trump was Hitler. Because look at that. Now, if he's not Hitler, nobody will believe him, will believe them. And they'll start looking at X. And that's not going to work out well for them. Also, Elon Musk says normally PACs go somewhat dormant after a big election, but AmericaPAC isn't doing that. They're registering Republicans and working for the next 4 years all around America. I think that's brilliant. That's actually, I don't want to call him the gay dude because I feel that's stupid. What is his name? Jeremy Steven or something? I can't remember. You guys know the guy from Pennsylvania? Anyway, he was in California and moved to Pennsylvania. Anyway, totally cool guy. He's actually moving to New Jersey now because he wants to flip. Scott Pressler, thank you, value. Maxie, I don't want to call him the gay guy. That's like not the name I'm sure he wants to be known as. But Scott is actually moving to New Jersey now. Let me see if I can find him. And he's going to go after that state now, too. Is that him? Oh, no, that's a wannabe. I'm probably spelling his name wrong. Anyway, whatever. He's going to New Jersey now because he's going to try and work that for the next 4 years. There's so many things. We're going to ban the Department of Education. Trump's already meeting with Putin to try and end that on day one. Yeah, there's just a lot of stuff. NATO's threatening us. That means nothing. They're not going anywhere. So there's a lot of positives going on there. Then also on the Bitcoin front, guys, so many things. We still got memberships getting handed out. Thank you, Manny, so much, dude. The persistence, that's why. Thank you, Tevis. Thanks, dude. I appreciate that. But yeah, so Scott Pressler, the persistence, is now going to New Jersey to try and flip that state in the next 2-year election and 4-year election. So he is absolutely brilliant, guys. He's so cool. Al Peterson, love to be one of the free subscriptions. Well, you get that on YouTube, so you're on X, so that's going to be hard to get. Manny is the GOAT. Yes, he is. Yeah, the gay dude. I hate saying that. I'll try and remember his name. But he's a stud. I love him so much. He works so hard for the campaign, and he is just a true patriot in every way. So I should definitely give him a better call handle than the gay dude. So the persistence. I'll try and remember that. But yeah, Scott is a stud. He's doing amazing things. But look at Bitcoin here, guys. This is crazy. Dennis Porter, again, this guy has been a huge advocate. He tries to work both sides of the aisle, so he pissed me off a little bit during the election because he was trying to say, like, oh, it doesn't matter if it's Kamala or Trump, and that's just not true. But he eventually, I think, kind of started leaning more to the right. But whatever. He's a great dude. He's doing the right thing. He's trying to get both parties to see the brilliance of Bitcoin because that's what we should be doing. But he said, 5 countries have reached out since I offered to help 15 hours ago. So he said, if you're an international group who has connections to your government and you want help introducing strategic Bitcoin reserve legislation, reach out. My team has assisted in 20 plus legislative introductions and passed 4 bills into law. We have the experience necessary to win. He's had 5 countries reach out to him. If that's not signal, I don't know what signal is. Okay? Manny retired from boxing? What? I'm sorry? You guys give me some history? I got to catch up here. Cool to see Bukele going to Costa Rica. The Americas are going to be so strong, right? And then you got Argentina. Then I think you have Canada flipping in this next year here in 2025. Dude, North and South America might be where it's at, bro. Book and tackles. There is no NATO without U.S. Production Works. Thank you for 5 more memberships. You guys are great. On that note, I think we just passed 3,800 memberships. Paid memberships because of this. So thank you guys very much. We're heading towards 39 in short order. I really appreciate all you guys. Amazing level of support. It's a crazy number. I want to say that we're getting close to $180,000 a year in annual reoccurring revenue. I don't know if I'm supposed to be sharing that, but it's an amazing number, and I don't care. You know how I am. This is why I can afford to get things like Fundstrat memberships and, again, Darius Dales. I'm going to be looking at a bunch of stuff because I want to find signal everywhere I can, because then I can return the value you're providing myself and admin wife and everything. And again, maybe down the road I can also provide a financial incentive for people that are helping out in Discord and other stuff, because I want to return the favor, and you guys are great, and I really appreciate you a lot, okay? So we already talked about this. That was the members only post. Again, Crypto Rover just showing where we are at the halving and the fact that the fun is right in front of us. I encourage you to understand that. And yeah, Dennis Porter said there will be major Bitcoin news from this week, next month, the following month, and every single week in the first 3 months of 2025. I told you, I've been preparing for this moment for 4 years. I am ready. So get ready. Don't sell out of all your stuff yet, guys. We got a ways to go. Stock Trader Max was just showing here how where we are in the cycle as well, and with a different visual representation. And then again, Cynthia Loomis has put forward a bill to the U.S. government to buy 200,000 Bitcoin per year over 5 years for a total of 1 million Bitcoin, not including the over 200,000 Bitcoin we already hold. So that would be a $1.2 million Bitcoin position at that time. You got global banks saying that things are going to go crazy and that the crypto market cap is going to go to 10 trillion. I actually think the altcoin market cap could go to 10 trillion soon enough. Well, I guess it includes Bitcoin too. Yeah, no, I agree with this, actually. I do agree with this. So did somebody say something about Manny, though? What was that? And I might call it here in a second, guys. 9:30, or at least take a quick break here, grab some coffee. I'll stick around. We'll do some tickers and stuff, especially since I just got this huge, 55 more memberships all of a sudden from you guys being amazing. So I'll probably stick around a little bit longer. And then Bella joined too. Thank you, Bella. Let me do this. I'm gonna let CNBC play. I'm gonna get coffee. And we'll go live here with these guys. I'm going to get coffee, and I'll be right back.
Hasn't picked up on that.
If it goes dark, stick around. I'll be back. Just give me a minute.
Regulatory environment for healthcare over the last 4 years with price controls on pharmaceuticals, regulations around Medicare and Medicaid. And so I don't think it gets worse from an environment standpoint. I think going forward, the administration could be a little more favorable for the overall industry, and that could be positive going forward.
Within healthcare, though, don't you have to be specific? Like the vaccine makers now, some are staying away from, worried about RFK Jr. and what his role might be.
Yeah, so I think there's great innovation. We've obviously seen the benefit of GLP-1s, which have driven substantial growth for pharmaceuticals and companies like Eli Lilly. We think there's additional innovation in cancer and across the board in diabetes, as well as medical devices. And so that's the innovation that we've been focused on. And we think healthcare services will have margin improvement over time as utilization trends kind of normalize. And so we think there are a number of factors outside of that will contribute to earnings growth for healthcare.
Do you have a strong view on rates? Because I notice you like utilities and REITs as well, which tend to move on what's happening in the bond market.
Yeah, so we think that rates will continue to tick lower over time. We think the Fed will continue on this cutting cycle, possibly at a more moderate pace, but they are clearly above the normal range at this point in time. And so we think over time that will be favorable for those rate-sensitive sectors. But it's not just a call on rates in our favoritism for utilities. It's a call on accelerating earnings growth over time. Obviously, with the electrification of the economy, that's going to benefit the utility players. We've seen a couple of companies in earnings season, XL and AEP, have raised their long-term earnings growth outlook and have had pretty aggressive CapEx plans as a result of this increased demand. And so we think it's both a combination of the potential for rates slowly coming down over time, as well as a better fundamental outlook for their growth over time.
It's interesting. I'm looking at some of the stocks you like too. Bookings Holding. You like Quality, Disney. I'm here. It's a little more of a defensive portfolio right now at a time where the market's been ripping. So how's the performance been?
Back. All right, let me see something.
The performance has been good. We also have some aggressive names. We've been overweight companies like NVIDIA, and so that's certainly contributed to our portfolio performance. But our focus for our portfolio is high-quality growth. We want to make sure that we're finding companies that have good secular growth opportunities, but are trading.
Okay, Money, you said, what's your opinion on December 2026 $400 calls today? We'll click the subscribe button if you answer. I'm assuming you're talking about Tesla? I'm assuming you're talking about Tesla. It helps if you do provide the ticker that you're referencing. I could look real quick and see. I mean, I don't know with 100% assurity. I like higher multiples. So here, I'll give you an idea of what I think. Okay, let me just do this. I'll reset this real quick, and then we'll go back. So, but yeah, it totally helps if you provide the ticker. And what date did you say? December 2026. I like January's. I don't know why I don't like December, but I like January's better, personally. This is 400. It's deep in the money. So the multiple, let's say we have, so first off, the contracts are pretty expensive. So it's $100,000 for 10. That kind of sucks. But I'll put in my 900 because I kind of think that's what the top is in this time frame. So you can get a 2x the underlying. If you get to $900, I don't think that's a very good deal. I don't really like options right now for Tesla, guys. I don't. And I hate to say that because I'm the guy who created the option video 7 months ago talking about my $14 million bet. But if I was going to do it, I would be going further out of the money. But I don't like options right now. It's run too much. If you look at Tesla, guys, don't buy. I said this kind of earlier too, but don't buy options in this current condition. Like, don't get me wrong. I love that I've made a bunch of money off of options. I told people to get in here, right? It's down to 336. We dropped 4%, right? Oh, and have we closed the daily gap? No. We're going to, though. Look at that. We're going to close that bitch. So great buy zone, 330. 330 on Tesla. Great buy zone. When it hits that, you're going to be set. You'll close that gap. It'll be beautiful. But I mean, look at how much. So maybe it's better there. Run these numbers yourself. Use the calculator. But dude, don't buy options on something that is up almost 70% in a period of 2.5 weeks. Okay? My 2 cents. If you want to get wrecked, do it. If you don't. And I don't care if you subscribe either way. That's up to you, man. I provide tons of value. Whether or not you subscribe is 100% up to you. You don't have to. You just won't get as many insights because each one of them provide benefit. Yeah. So again, I wouldn't buy options in this kind of environment. I just think it's a great way to get wrecked. Micro strategy options are expiring Friday. I mean, there are always options expiring Friday. I don't actually have any options with MicroStrategy right now. I'm not sure what your question is, Hard Deep, but throw it out there if you have one. Yeah, let me just keep rolling down here. Manny retired from boxing, now is investing and sharing his gifts. Manny? Our Manny? Manny, you're a boxer? Beat people's ass for a living? I might need a bodyguard in the future. Let me know what you're doing, Manny. But hey, I appreciate you, man. And I'm happy you're retired too. How long? How long have you been retired, Manny? Crunchy Crunch. Hey, Jesse, what's with manufacturing anticipate to come back? Do you think it's good time to accumulate commercial real estate REITs? I don't know. I don't know. Real estate is fuzzy to me. I think the market opens up a lot. I think maybe realtors and companies that benefit from sales do well. But if they do things like forcing, and I don't even know if this is on the table, but forcing BlackRock and Berkshire Hathaway and Blackstone to sell these large blocks of residential, housing that they own all over the country, that would drive down the price of mortgages quite a bit and make it more affordable. Probably wouldn't help builders. So I don't know. It's real estate. I think people, if you're investing in things where they're selling real estate, that market is going to open up a lot, and I would be interested in that. But for builders and stuff, I think it could get weird, and I just don't know the direction yet. I don't have that insight. Manny Pac-Man jokes. Okay. Jason G, can you look at LRCX, Lamb Research? Yeah, I can take a look at it. I know we've looked at it before. I thought I liked it, but I mean, my brain doesn't always work either. So let's just take a look. And I'll look at the financials first, because I always like to refamiliarize myself with the financials. Because if I can know the fundamentals, that's amazing. If I know the world around me, how the bond market's going to do, how different currencies are going to do, and geopolitics are going to play out, and who's going to get elected, which I've been pretty good at. I mean, I said China was going to go down the shitter. That's been happening for the last 2 years. I said Trump was going to get elected. That happened. But when I know all that stuff, and I know the fundamentals of something, and then I look at the financials next, and then I look at the chart, because the chart is the last piece of that puzzle. It's the icing on the cake to figure entries and exits. But if you don't know all the other stuff, if you don't have the foundation, you don't really know what the fuck you're doing. I can tell you this because I've seen so many chart people that just focus on that. And sure, you can probably win more than not if you're really good at it. But why wouldn't you want to know the fundamentals of the things that you're investing in? It just doesn't make any fucking sense not to. All right. So these guys are growing again. They had a stint. I don't remember what happened in 2022, but they got hit. But they're growing. And the estimates look all right. And the forward PE is only 20.74. Their cash is growing while their debts are in decline. I like that. I like the fact that they've been buying back shares. It's a semiconductor company based out of Fremont, California, it looks like. And they've got a pretty good free cash flow. I mean, look at this over here. They got $1.45 billion in free cash flow. This is not a shitty company in my mind. I actually think it seems like it's pretty undervalued. It's something where I should probably put more research into it. I am curious, though. There's some weirdness, because why is institutional ownership in decline on a company that, to me, that looks like a really good deal? And then why did short interest pop the last couple of quarters? There's some question marks I have when I look at the analysis on this, because there's some things that get me excited and other things where I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? But just looking at the financials at a glance looks good to me. Doesn't look bad at all. I'm willing to bet the technicals look good too. Dan Marco, can you look at ISRG? Yes, we can. Give me 1 second. Let me just look at this last one here. LRCX. Yeah, and if you tip, you're more likely to get your chart looked at too, guys. I try to get to all of them, but it's just the amount of time. My primary focus, and I've said this a few times, is making sure that I understand what's going on in the macro and the world around us so that I can be right, directionally right on the investments that I'm talking about. Because if I'm not directionally right, all the pretty graphs and charts and things that I say and whatever sense of humor, showing you Cardi B's tits, it only goes so far. Okay? But I need to be directionally right. Otherwise, I won't be providing real value. And plus, I mean, those nude photos were not pleasing at all. Anyway, so this looked like a triple bottom. We're kind of testing back down again on Lamb. I feel like there's a pretty good chance that we go up to $83, and then we can test higher. This looks like a bullish pattern in my mind. And again, if you go back here, you can see where this is turning into support, previous resistance. You get a dividend on it. It doesn't seem like a bad deal to me. To Manny. Oh, a different Manny. Not our Manny. Our Manny that's giving out all the... Okay, well, whatever. But yeah, Lamb is an interesting one to me. Again, there's some of those caveats, like why is institutional ownership going down? What's happening with the stock? But you do have this bullish divergence that's going back on the RSI from July of 2024. And even though the price is kind of trying to go down, it wants to break up. It's probably an easy run to 86. I don't know if it's the best deal out there. I haven't looked at options, but it's a thing. Andrew, thank you for joining, sir. What's your YouTube channel? Micro to Macro. You can't miss it. All that stuff too, guys, is on my profile on X. If you go like more stuff, or you look at my pinned tweet, you see all the things, all the memberships, the X, the YouTube. I think all that stuff's in there. Let me keep going here. So I'm going to get to yours, Dan. Just 1 second. Just trying to get caught up in chat too. Have you looked into investing in SpaceX through Barron Capital? I have not. Ron Barron Capital. That's probably a good way to do it. I probably should start looking at more of that in the future. I probably should. But I look at SpaceX. I'm not even looking at SpaceX to try and make money. I would just look at it as a philanthropic thing to help further Elon's ambitions for getting us to Mars. That would literally be the only thing I would care about, honestly. I don't care otherwise. I just want to help him. Martin said, YouTube. Oh, you put in my link. Thank you, dude. Cameron Templeton. Oh, yeah, you guys are great. Manny247, Namdem, teach and pass on your skills. Yes, that's always the way to do it. That's very, very true, my friend. Patrick, signed up for Discord yesterday. I'll be the first to admit I was dead wrong about this election. You were on point the entire time. Genius. Yeah, man, I try to find truth, and I kept pointing to the data. I went on that Finance Junkies video, Amit and Carlos and just all those. Oh, and Hines. I loved Hines. And what is it? TJ? I don't know. I don't remember all the names. There were a bunch of people on there. There were like 6 initially. Chris was on there too. He did a bet. He lost that bet. Anyway, but I didn't make him pay for it, but he lost it. But yeah. Anyway, I tried to show them all the data. I'm like, guys, this is the data. This is the truth. This is the reality of what's happening. And I don't think I sold anybody. TJ the Wheel. Thank you. Yeah, no, you're right. I think that's it. He's cool too. But yeah, so. But I tried to convince them, like, this is why we're going to win, and I don't know how many people I sold over. But the data will always be the truth. People's feelings don't mean anything to me. Feelings are worthless. Feelings are reactionary, right? Like, I don't care about that. I care about truth. And the truth is in the data points. Are we going up in PayPal? Is PayPal going up or is it going down? Sorry, I just got to check real quick. I'm getting alerts. I haven't gotten an alert on PayPal in a little bit. Oh, it just went down. Okay. All right. Well, that makes sense. It's down 1% on the day. Nice. All right. Let me keep going here. I don't know if I love Enphase, guys. I wish I could be like super stoked for you guys, but I just don't like it. I don't know it. I can't even say I don't like it. I don't like their guidance. I don't like what I've seen of it. I might not have the full picture. It all looks like shit. Mark Bentley, you're right about the ascendance of America's coming. Europe is asleep with the exceptions of patriot groups in England, Netherlands. I know, dude. Europe, again, it's one of those things where you have fourth turnings in civilizations that die. Europe is beautiful and rich with cultural heritage. They seem to be letting a lot of that go, though, because of this weird, like fuck the people that live here. We want to give it all away to other people. I just don't understand. I don't know why there's that amongst the West and amongst the elite and amongst the, UN and whatever else, World Economic Forum. I don't know what this push is for. I don't understand it. We've got plenty of space for people on this planet. We can prevent it from being destroyed through, stupidity, which I believe there is a risk of that. But I'm with Elon. I trust Elon way better than other people. Cheap labor doesn't even make sense because if the government has to fund them, so the labor is not cheap. It's really fucking expensive, and it's unsustainable. And so it just none of it makes any sense. And then you're bringing in crime. They're not vetting people either. It's just stupidity across the board. And I'm glad America's changing direction. I feel like more European countries are going to make their way that way. We'll see if Canada flips too, guys. I mean, Europe's going to have to. Otherwise, what are they going to do? Are they going to become Chinese? That's like, are they going to lean towards the BRICS? Is that going to be their new life, being subservient to BRICS? They got to fix their shit. And I think they will. I'm a hopeful person. I'm a eternal optimist. Gons, thank you for joining, my friend. Or upgrading, maybe. I don't know. Either way, thank you very much. Let's keep rolling through here. How many people have at least one BTC? I got a few. And again, estimates have us at 500,000 people having one BTC a decade plus from now. That's not a lot. Not a lot when you look at the population of the Earth. Let's see here. BTC recovering, Kyle says, from down 5% to just 2.4. Yeah, I think it's all going to recover. I think people are going to be taught to buy the dip. This is how this stuff works, guys. If you haven't been here for a Bitcoin cycle, they're going to teach you to buy the dip, and you'll keep doing it, and eventually it will bend you over and fuck you in the ass. So that's a really interesting way of saying that, but but yeah, so watch out. Invest answers, Hive for XAI and Hive. Okay. Do we know what the NAV is, though, Kyle? I hate things without NAV. Do we have a calculator for the NAV? And let me get back up here because I got to answer your question. You wanted me to look at which stock, Dan. ISRG. Let me do that real quick here. Let me look under the financial side of the house first. And if you guys have additional details when you ask me to look for a stock, throw it out there. I know we've looked this one up before. I think I remember liking it. Ooh, it's got a really high forward PE. Why? Why is it so high? Decent amount of growth. More selling than buying from insiders on Q1 of 2024. Institutional ownership starting to pick up. Short interest, nominal. Doesn't really matter. Operating leverage getting a little bit better. Stock-based comp, 8%. That's a high number. Medical instrument and supplies, Sunnyvale, California. They're burning cash. They are diluting shares over the last couple of years. What's the... I don't understand why the PE is so high. I don't get it. I don't know why this is so deserving of the strong PE. Don't get me wrong. They got double-digit revenue growth. Profit growth was 34%. Like, the numbers don't look bad, but it feels like it could be overvalued, in my opinion. My humble opinion. Just throwing my 2 cents out there, guys. I don't know how you do what you do for free. You'd be a C-suite exec at any large firm. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. So I mean, it's not free. It's $2 on YouTube, at least. It's $5 on X. It's $5 on Discord. So if people actually want to see my trades in my portfolio, they are giving something. But I do think I'm a good deal. And I always want to be a good deal. Right? Like, I don't want to be somebody charging $2,400 for courses. I don't ever want to be that. So, I hated corporate America. Fuck those guys. Daniel Dibb, seems like miners are going to end up positive. They could. Jesse, you need a chamber pot. Why? Sealess wins for the randomest fucking awesome comments out of anybody in this group. Nobody beats Sealess. Why do I need a chamber pot? What did I miss, Sealess? Bella's data, if the audio gets choppy, close and open the app or browser. I'll have to check some of my settings. Maybe I can make that better too. Is it only on, is anybody having choppiness on X at all? Is it only YouTube? Jesse, that's a typo. I'm not trying to emasculate your name. Jess. Oh, okay. More great comments from Sealess. Eric, do you think any states or countries have started buying for their strategic? Yes. Yes. We're seeing massive buying coming into Bitcoin. I think there's a lot of that. Bella's data, someone called out NVDL earlier. I got some at 82. Thank you. Oh, yeah, that's the NVIDIA play, right? Is that the NVIDIA leverage play? I'm actually kind of interested in that one. Let me see. Do I have that? NVDL. Let's see how NVIDIA is doing. Let me know what the leverage is on that one, guys. I think NVIDIA... How's NVIDIA doing? I haven't looked at the chart in a while. Oh, dude. So strong. So strong in breakout territory. Above the fib. Looking to make a run to 170. Like a boss. Probably 169. That's beautiful, dude. It's freaking beautiful. C-List. Just reload the stream in the app. Yep. Namdaten. Jesse setup room looks like Batcave. Cool. Yeah, thank you. Did I show that already? I don't know if I did, but maybe I'll just show it again real quick. So my setup, when I'm looking at you guys, this is what I'm doing. So I got some Mitch Ray pictures up here because I frequented his merch store. There's one of my famous mugs. Got my really expensive headset over here. These are my OLEDs. They're just ridiculously bright. I lose my trading view charts because they're running on a separate computer that's underneath. This is my computer. Mac for the win, man. Such a beautiful machine. And this is Vlad. Big Vlad, slightly smaller Vlad, slightly smaller Vlad. So pretty cool stuff. That's what is in front of you. Holy crap. Yeah, that's what's in front of me. Yeah, I got my own production studio. I don't know how I did that. Mu's down 10%. Now, is Mu with 2 U's different than Micron? Is it? Let me just check over here. I don't know what Mu is with 2 U's. All right, one second. Mark had something to say too. I gotta look at that. Leor, what's up, bro? Leor is an OG. He's been around me for a long time. How am I down 200,000 today after making 1.2 yesterday? That's retarded. I love it. I love it. That shows a lot of strength too. When the options hold, guys, when the options hold, the fact that I'm only down like 200K today says a lot. There's a lot of signal in that, guys. Tesla slowly dipping. Will you arbitrage BTC again? I've been selling a little bit of Tesla on the way and buying Bitcoin. If if anything bounces really good that isn't Bitcoin related, I will probably take a little bit of that and put it into Bitcoin. Right now, MicroStrategy is up 4.53% and MSTU is up 8% on the day. Retarded, but beautiful. Proven B, thoughts on NXT, anyone? I don't know that one too well. I will get to it in a second here. Let's see. Darren said, do we want FOMC to cut rates again? Yes, and they will. They will cut rates in December. There is a 69% chance, which means it's going to happen. Oh, 65. It went down a little bit. Did we look at economic data today? Did I even look at it? It was all coming in late. It was all coming at 10, but we've got a little bit. Let's look. Redbook 4.8%. It was previously 6%. Am I blocked? Are you blocked, Alfredo? I don't know. Are you blocked? Is he blocked? Can you guys tell him? So this is still a good uptrend, in my opinion, for the Redbook. And this is retail sales, guys. And I always have to look at the number, but it makes up like 9,000 stores and 80% of the equivalent of official retail sales series collected and published by the U.S. Department of Commerce. So this is a really good index for getting a gauge on retail sales, and it shows strength heading into the season. So I love that. Building permits in Canada. How are those doing? Canadian building permits. Is anybody building in Canada? I mean, they should. You guys have a horrendous property market in Canada. Looks more positive than negative. It's really wonky, actually. Yeah. Oh, we got Optimism index too. And it looks like we're getting ready for the New York Fed Treasury 1 and 2.5 year Treasury bills. But let's see what the RCM TIP Economic Optimism Index had to say. Whoa. Look at that fucking read. Woof. Do you think people like Trump? This is what we call a Trump bump in economic optimism. We're going to throw that out there, guys. That's cray. Got the cray going on over here. Yeah, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. Oh, we got to turn this into an arrow. A little bit of one of these, a little bit of this. Got to change my defaults for this, maybe. All right, I gotta post this real quick. What is that called? The United States Economic Optimism Index. Optimism Index. Can't believe you guys said I was C-suite material. I love you guys. I mean, I would never do that, but I love you guys. Thoughts on the Rule of 40? Oh, don't know if I have much on it. What was the Rule of 40 again? My brain is missing me. I don't remember all the rules all the time. What is the Rule of 40? That is the financial metric often used in software and technology industries to evaluate the health and potential of a company. Combines a company's growth rate and its profit margin into a single score. I've never used it, so I got nothing. Not my thing, man. So, no opinion. Can you look at First Solar? Can I look at First Solar? I mean, I could. FSLR, right? Is that what you're talking about? FSLR. That's probably going to do better than Enphase, maybe. Is this First Solar? I'm assuming. Assuming it is. Yeah, okay. It's been a while. How am I doing this? I should really be doing, I don't know. Should I be doing major lows? It's kind of hard to do that. I should almost. Here, let's just go to here. We're going to do our local. Then bring you to here. All right, there's a rough gauge. Assuming this is the bottom, which I can't say it is because it looks like we're underneath the moving averages for the 50 and the 100, and it's down 5.42%. And I don't know how solar's going to do under a Trump presidency. So, I don't know, man. I don't think we know enough about the fundamentals of what's going to happen under a Trump presidency for solar. I would assume he's going to be pushing all forms of energy, but I don't actually know. So I don't know, dude. I don't know. I don't know. Thoughts on NXT? I mean, I can take a look at it. Let's look over here, though. And then I might, unless I see anything interesting happen. All right, so this is 11% revenue growth. It looks good. Forward PE is cheap, 13. That's fucking stupid low. What's wrong with this company? Why do people hate it so much? Oh, it's solar. Oh, wicked share dilution. Dunk. Still, though, it looks pretty well positioned. Andrew, thank you for joining or upgrading, whatever you did. I appreciate you. This is interesting. So I don't quite know why it's so low. Lots of selling. Why are the insiders selling? Why is the short interest growing? I don't know why we don't have an institutional ownership. Maybe this is too small. I didn't look at the cap. But we're seeing a lot more selling of shares from insiders than buying. Now, if this is a newer company, that's not crazy. Short interest is 9%. Earnings date January 2029 to 2025. There's over 1,000 employees. It's a decent-sized company. They look pretty well positioned for a solar company, but I don't know anything about them. Let's look at the actual stock. I mean, maybe this is a play where they could do, you know what I should look at? I should go to the yearly and see how bad they got hurt by rates going higher. You can't even tell. Well, I mean, outside of free cash flow going to shit. I mean, you can't tell, I guess. I guess you could totally tell right there, right? Huh. Moves array to track sun. Oh, okay. I think solar will be a huge portion of it. I agree. When you have a nuclear reactor in the sky, I still don't really get the premise of needing to build a really expensive, more costly version of that on the ground outside of maybe critical infrastructure where you bury it in the ground and you try and make sure that the Chinese don't know where it's at. But really, as far as like from a technical standpoint, it's way better to have solar because you could have somebody could drop a nuke and anywhere that didn't get hit by it, you might still have power. What's my bullish thesis on MU? It's a bunch of things. The CEO really impressed me in some interviews. I don't know if I have that stuff in the Discord. And also, So yeah, Next Tracker actually looks, let me finish this real quick. Next Tracker looks interesting. I'm going to pull up, I don't know if I actually have the stock. I don't think I do. So I'm just going to do this, NXT, because this is actually interesting for a solar play, dude. And it explains why it's called Next Tracker too, right? Like that makes sense. Oh, look at that double top. So clearly defined. Look at the ass on that thing. Just huge. It's a big ol' ass. If you didn't see that top, you don't know technicals. Because that was huge. That was a Cardi B. Right there. All right. So, what are our next steps here? I think we test up towards the weekly, the 50 moving average on the weekly, in the 46 range. I think this seems like a company that could get back to all-time highs. But again, I don't know what Trump's doing, dude. I don't know what Trump's doing in regard to renewables. I would hope that he would be smart and be pushing all forms of energy. What I would be doing is saying, drill, baby, drill. And by the way, if you guys want to diversify away from oil, we'll give you massive fucking tax breaks. That's what I would be doing. But I don't know what Trump's going to be doing. I hope that's what he does. But look at this. I think this is an impulse signaling where we're going. So 45 to 58 seems like pretty likely in the future, especially if the policies are favorable. But it's going to be really a matter of, are they? All right, MU. Let me look at the financials on MU. I think that's probably a good place to start. And again, I haven't really done a write-up on this. I haven't done the in-depth research. This is very cursory. This is me being super impressed by the CEO, and chips being a hot sector. Him saying that they will benefit from the phone cycle because a lot of these phones with the AI they're going to be using, they'll probably need additional memory and additional hardware that they will benefit from. Also, he made it sound like his memory is going to be required, and the data centers that are spinning up for all of this artificial intelligence that we're looking at. I don't have MU Leaps. I just have stock. I haven't even looked at Leaps. I'm just trying to get into it. I don't buy Leaps until I'm incredibly confident of what I own and where it's going to go, and preferably it's low and cheap, and I have an opportunity to scale into it. So I don't own Leaps. But again, just looking here, you got more buying than selling, and for Q4 from the insiders. I like that. Short interest is really low. It's only 3%. Now, this is another one where it's like institutional ownership hasn't went anywhere. I won't say it's going down, but it's pretty flat. And then estimates, though, you can see how they just took a major hit. But estimates are looking good. I mean, EPS is looking good. Now, there was that report that people say just went out that looked bad, but I don't know if I believe it. I think that this company is doing a good job. Its operating leverage looks good. It looks like its storage business isn't very favorable for profits, so that kind of sucks for them. I don't know. They need to figure out how to get those profits higher. But so that's actually in the red right now and costing them money. But if I look over here, it's running at a 12 forward PE. That's a lot of it, guys. It's just a valuation play. I think it's cheap. Other technology and service revenue appears to be going down, but dynamic RAM, nano RAM are going up. I don't know if that report, I haven't read this report they're talking about. Free cash flow isn't great. Operating cash flow is pretty good. Their expense base isn't really going up. They spend a lot on research and development. I don't know how effective they are, but I like the fact that they're doing that, and that's a large amount of their expenses. Their debt is higher than their assets, but I don't think that's horrible. It really seems like they're trying to become competitive with the rest of the world, which is a hard thing to do a lot of the time. So I don't know. I don't know what ends up happening with Micron, but I do think that it seems to me like a decent bet, where they're undervalued, and it could do a lot better in the future. Price to free cash flow is not a good looking metric, though. But again, all that R&D. So that's kind of my rough thought. And watch some CEO interviews. I always love seeing the management of a company and seeing what they have to say. Wow, you guys are just Gus Weedbag. Love the name. Oklo. Sam Altman Nuclear Co. dropping today. I don't love. Yeah, so a couple things. One, I hate Sam Altman. I think he's fucking evil. So let's just start with that. Everything I know of Sam Altman screams that he is an evil, just horrific person. I also think his Chat GPT company is too high of a valuation. I would much rather own Palantir, which has a similar valuation than a Chat GPT OpenAI valuation, especially when everybody's leaving. You don't leave a company that's getting ready to transform the world, or if you think it's doing a mission that you love, but everybody's leaving. Free cash flow for quarters that reported. I don't know. What is my even supposed to like here? This is where I am, okay? No revenue, 30 million in losses in last quarter. What am I supposed to like here? There's nothing to invest in for Oklo, guys. I can't invest in companies when they're not real, and so I just don't think this is real. I'm sorry to waste your $5, dude. Such like a short, answer. But the price, again, it went from like $5.82 to 26. I think that's fucking ridiculous. I have no idea why. There is no value. There's nothing financially I can evaluate here. And this is their operating expenses versus their non-existent revenue. I don't even like nuclear as an industry right now. I think the uranium play might be good. I know that one guy. What is his fucking name? You guys brought it up. I should probably unblock him. What is his name? What's the uranium guy's name, guys? I blocked him a long time ago because he pissed me off. He compared me to Roaring Kitty, and I just got fucking mad. I probably blocked him prematurely. Do you guys remember his name? Long hair. Looks like he should be in a rock band from the 80s or 90s. Do you guys know who I'm talking about? Anybody? 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 Loves uranium. You know what? I'll just look up uranium. He's probably on there. Maybe. Where's the guy? Where's the guy? He's got a YouTube channel. Derek. Thank you. Damn it. Derek something. Derek what? Quick? Derek Quick? Not Wall. Yeah, okay. I should. Oh, he blocked me. Bastard. All right, well, I'm going to unblock you. So, whatever. Oh, no. No, maybe he let me go too. All right, cool. All right. Derek's my buddy again. I mean, probably not. He's probably mad at me. But anyway, it's his fault, I think. I don't remember. He's heavy PayPal. Yeah. We were both involved in that and then some other stuff, but he just really pissed me off. He looks like a pirate. He kind of does, doesn't he? He kind of looks like a pirate. You're right. Yeah, I could see that. All right. Anyway, yeah, we have some similar ideas. He just really got me mad, and I don't remember why. So if I don't remember why I'm mad at somebody, like, am I really that mad at them? I don't know. For Tevis, I'll do anything. Tevis, well, I mean, I shouldn't say that. Just curious if you've ever taken a look at hymns on the channel. I've been getting way more bullish on it. Yeah, dude, I noticed they actually had a good quarter too. Basically, only can mute people. No more blocking. No, I block people all the time. That's not going away. But because muting doesn't help, because then they can talk shit about you in the chat. Until they actually what I would like them to do with mute or block is make it to where people can still see your stuff, but they can't at you and they can't talk in your chat. If they do that, I'll be really happy, because that's my goal. But mute just makes it to where you can't see them talking shit about you in your chat. That's not really great. But yeah, Tevis, hymns. Yes, I do like hymns. I liked their last quarter. I was actually really impressed by it. I think. I want to say I was. Let me look. Yeah, right? That's the way it should be. Is that the way it works with the block? Oh, so even though I'm blocked? Oh, I see. Did they already do that? If they did that, I love that. That's exactly... I fought against that. I was really pissed at Elon because I've had some weird issues with people. But then people made points that were really concise and clear and really smart. Oh, they did. That's great. Okay, cool. Then I love that. I love that. So the block feature is exactly what I would want it to be. I don't want to prevent people from being able to see my content. I just don't necessarily want to have to interact with them sometimes. But I can see his posts. Okay, cool. That's cool. I love that. I think that's a better way to be. Anyway, hymns, revenue growth 77% year over year. Forward PE is 37. Little rich, but this company's still growing really good. The revenue estimates look good. Let's look at activity. I mean, you got more selling than buying, but it's minuscule from insiders, so I don't even care. Institutional ownership growing. Short interest is 18%. I don't understand why. 18.3%. I don't get that. I think that's a bad idea on their part. Because this is what you want to see. This company is finally starting to spread its wings where it's making more revenue than operating expenses. Online revenues look great. Wholesale revenue looks good. Monthly subscriptions, you want to see that ticking up. Nice number on that. I don't have a monthly subscription. I do use them for their hair product now, which I really like, as you can see from my hair. No, which you never see. But anyway, I do look at this, just all of it. I got to say, yes, Tevis, I do like the financials, man. I don't know enough about the fundamentals of this company, but the financials look beautiful. I wish they could find a better way to fix their expenses, though. I don't know if they can do more automation and robotics, but I wish this operating expense chart looked better, dude. I don't love it. I don't love the S&M and the G&A. If they can reduce some costs and some overhead, I don't care about the R&D like that. I get, but if they can figure out how to automate and become more efficient, but it's not a bad looking company, dude. I don't think. And the chart I think is doing good too. They had a great day just the other day. I want to say. Let me see here. Well, I mean, they're back a little bit today, but yeah, they were up to 29. So they had a nice break. I said this is a inverse head and shoulders. So the measured move gets us to like 38. At least gets us to the fib at 36, 37. So I think we still got a ways to travel on this one. I think an easy 37% probably. That's my take on HIMS. HIMS seems to come up every day. Yeah, people like it. Future Millionaire Fund, Tesla, Palantir, Hood, SoFi, PayPal, HIMS, BTC, and proxies. Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty easy way to do it. My wife orders a ton from HIMS. I probably should buy some. Yeah, dude, I think it's a good company. I mean, at least the hair products are nice. Andrew, Ross Gerber blocked me and I can't see his posts. Really? Let me see how that works. Let me see. Ross Gerber. Because Ross blocked me too. I pissed him off real good. Real good on the Gerb. Ah, dude. I don't know if he still has me blocked, but... Oh, yeah, he has me blocked. Yeah, dude, you can see it. They fixed it. Yeah, it's good, dude. You can see his posts. And I'm sure you're not losing anything. He's excited about the fight, which I'm excited about too. But there's a Chinese microchip company that began accepting Bitcoin as payment. China's coming as far as jumping in to Bitcoin. I agree. I actually saw a video. They like all over China. They're talking about how the U.S. is embracing Bitcoin. You know that's a big deal because they don't want to be behind. People don't realize this, but when the gold standard was really being established and everybody was switching to the gold standard, China stuck with silver and got fucked. So they don't want to do that again. And they've been buying tons of gold. What does it seem like they're probably doing? The same mistake, I would argue. So I agree. I think hopefully they're coming around the right way, Caleb. Which Caleb is this? Is this my Caleb? My Caleb. I mean, is this Caleb Franzen or is this not? Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not. All right, anyway, let me hop over here. What was I doing, guys? Was I doing anything? Dude, you have like 1,000 fake accounts on X. I have like, oh, yeah, you can't stop it, dude. So the process to identify fakes on X is so much fucking worse. They made it worse. So many things on X have gotten better. They made that worse. They should have my ID. I've shown it a bunch of times. They should be storing my ID. They should have everything they need to know that it's me. I've done it a bunch of times already. I shouldn't have to do it every fucking time I'm trying to report a fake. But yeah, it sucks. So I just gave up. I think everybody gave up. I think they've got ways of identifying them and they're getting better. But if you guys see fakes, you're going to have to report them. I tried to do that myself for a long time, and then X made it so horrific that I just couldn't do it anymore. And I'm not spending 5 minutes per fake to report it and then hope that they take care of it 5 to 10 minutes a day. I don't have time for that because they make them as quickly as I report them. But I think they have done a lot better, though. I don't find them as much anymore. Hey, Jesse, what's your take on... I'm probably going to take a break. Oh, not the same Caleb. All right, well, whatever. We like you. We like you, Caleb. even though you're not Franzen. But let's just look over here real quick. I might call it here in a second. I do want to look, though, and see how the watch list is sitting. Cypher down. So we still got miners down on the day. That's still a thing. HIMS is down a little bit, too. Let's see what else we got going on, though. Bonk. The dogs are up. Dogs are up. MSTX still holding on. Square's up. MicroStrategy's up. NVIDIA's up. Flux is up. DLO's up. BBY barely up. Oil starting to fall. Hood's down a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. It's a consolidation day. I'm perfectly okay with this today, guys. This is pretty normal stuff. Maybe use it as an opportunity to buy something. That's what I would do. And I've got plenty of. I've got like $250,000 in either source of funds accounts or sitting on the sidelines waiting to buy. So I'll probably, again, some of that might take 24 to 48 hours before it frees up, but I'll be looking to buy more in the future if things don't move. Victor, sell 100,000 in Tesla and buy Bitcoin today? Yes or no? I don't know what that means, dude. I don't know your risk profile. I don't know how much of your portfolio that is. I don't know how much that money means to you. I do think Bitcoin investments are a really good deal. And if that's options you're talking about, they've ran a shit ton. So I don't think that's a horrible idea at very loose face value. Musk, yo, I don't feel like you're the real Musk. Are you the real Musk? The real Elon Musk is probably not sitting in my chat. There's like 1 billion of the fakes. It's probably one of you. I would love for it to be the real Musk because he is my hero. And you shouldn't tease me like that. 5% of portfolio, just plain BTC and Coinbase. It's probably not a bad idea, Victor. I mean, without it being financial advice. Sounds interesting to me. Oh, this is 420 Elon 69. Is that the Musk we're looking at? That's the Musk. Not quite the same. You know, even though Elon Musk does love 420 and 69. So, little known fact. Nobody knows that. Wealth of information I just provided you guys. Gunnar and Gracie said, lol, would be hilarious if Elon was hanging out. Dude, I remember the first time I saw him come in and like my Cybertruck, I almost lost my mind. I still look at it. We're going to look at it right now, just because I'm sentimental towards it. Let me see here. Cool moments on Twitter. Elon Musk telling me he thought my Cybertruck looked cool. My only interaction with Elon Musk so far. We're going to have more. But he liked it. He liked it. And that made me happy. He liked it, and then he retweeted or something. I don't know. Whatever. I got a bunch of people to like it. And it made me so happy. So happy. Yeah. Who doesn't love Musk? It's Kodak. Oh, Kodak. All right. Oh, okay, dude. You guys are switching up on me. Like, where are people going? Oh, they're renamed. Rebranding. All right, guys. I think, Dan, they're trying to get into the weight loss drugs. I think like Ozempic, but bulk compounding won't fly, in my opinion, since pharma patents are strongly upheld in the U.S. Are they strongly upheld, Silas, or is that going to get butchered by the Trump administration? I don't know. I don't know. New York Fed, inflation expectations decline slightly. What does that mean? 1 second.
Of inflation.
See what the lease has to say. 1 sec. We're going to see what the lease has to say, guys. Oh, I just don't know why I did that. It's literally like 1 second. Let's get to the beginning of the lease. There you go.
Dow's down 100, lost 6K just slightly, back to 59.89, and we are watching the 10-year, 2-year highest since July.
All right, well, thank you guys,
getting some breaking news out of the New York Fed this morning. Steve Leisman's got that.
We got to listen to this. Thank you guys, though, for, again, getting past 3,800 paying members. I think we're well on our way to 3,900 now, so I greatly appreciate you guys across all the platforms. It's kind of insane. Again, very humbling.
For us, hey, Steve.
Some good news from the New York Fed about inflation expectations. They are down and down across the board at all horizons here.
Yeah.
The 1 year falling by 0.1% to 2.9. That's one of the lowest levels we had in several years.
We'll check the CME
3-year down
watch in a
0.2 to 2.5%, and the 5-year down 0.1 to 2.8%. All of this may reflect.
Yeah, I don't think we're ever going to get to those levels, but cool.
more and more the view of consumers about gasoline prices, but also generally lower inflation rates. Inflation expectations fell for commodity prices, including gas, food, college, rent, medical care, and it was the lowest reading for medical care since January 2020.
Yay.
On the unemployment front, unemployment expectations declined to 34.5%. That's the lowest since
thanks,
February
Sess.
2022.
Thank you,
The
Dario.
probability of a job loss declined and the probability of finding a job increased. So all three of those suggest that the panel of 1,300 household heads that they talked to think the job market is better than they had previously thought it. The expectations also show for household financial situations improved as well.
The panel, all Republicans. No, I'm kidding. They definitely, you know, those videos of like the liberals losing their minds. They definitely weren't paneling those people.
Well, so guys, that's pretty good numbers for the outlook for inflation. I want to see if the probabilities change. They did not change. The market has not reacted to these numbers, but you're looking at essentially 85% for a December cut, and then again, skip in January, and then something like a 60 or 61% probability for another cut in March.
It's not an 85%. What the fuck are you talking about, Leisman? What crack are you smoking, brother? It's a 65%. See, you can never count on these people.
March, and that's the market guys getting into this every other meeting mode for next year.
I think it's key to get a number like this, especially if we're sort of on the lookout.
Yeah, no, that's true, Silas. I think yeah, you're right on the patent front. I 100% agree. Not upholding pharmaceutical patents will shave that world. It would reduce private research. It would benefit many in the short term, though not in the retirement accounts. I agree with that. I think the big, and you're right, I think the big thing that they're going to probably reform is just preventing large pharmaceutical companies like Pfizer and many others from being able to prevent smaller companies from coming in and doing anything or providing research in other fields. I think that's where it'll get better.
Out again for rising inflation expectations and rising inflation risks as a result of, you know, what's happening in the market and what's happening with the outlook on the economy.
It's a really good point, Sarah, especially after Barkin talked about his concern that it's possible that inflation gets stuck. And then if you've also looked at the five-year forward, this is a way of teasing out the market's view of inflation over the next 5-year period. And what it shows is that it's been on the rise, up near 240, 250, 260, depending upon what day you want.
We'll just finish this economic data and then be done. I think there's, I'll probably look at it myself here in a second too.
Using how you want to measure it. So the market has gotten more concerned. Inside of the higher yield rise has been an increase in the concern about inflation. And these inflation expectations, as we said, by the way, Sarah, in our retail monitor, gas spending has been down 3 months in a row. And 12 of the last 14 months. So all of that's kind of good news on the inflation front, which, by the way, we get tomorrow.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you very much,
Sure.
Steve. Look forward to that. Well,
yeah, and if we hit like this Goldilocks zone for the inflation data tomorrow, I think it's going to be real fun. Are you going to watch Dumb Money Tesla bet video today? I'm sorry, what? What do you mean Dumb Money Tesla video bet, Walter? I might not know what you're talking about. Mass compounding skips the FDA's abbreviated new drug approval process for generics, patents, rights aside. I'm not quite sure what you're saying, Silas. Dario, Jesse, if you have time, can you make videos like Option Call 101, Fundamental Analysis is Essential? Option Call 101. I mean, I've got the options video. Dumb Money TV is it? Oh, yeah. Okay, I know what you're talking about now. Yeah. What about them? Oh, his Tesla bet? I saw, was that on Farzad? Is that on Far? Like, I thought that guy, I think I'm beating him for the return, but I can't count it because he's been around a lot longer. So he's been tried during down markets, so he beats me. Are you guys talking about this guy? You're talking about this guy, right? Yeah, Chris Camillo. This is the same dude, right? Oh, generic must be approved. One reason not anybody can make a legal generic. Yeah. That guy's cool. As far as I know, he's like one of the best performing people out there, better than Warren Buffett, especially recently, and has been through a recession. That's the only reason I can say. Well, has he been through a recession? Has he actually? I don't know. Maybe he's not better than me. Maybe he's just been around a little bit longer. Because I blow away his average. Even though his looks good on paper. He turned $20,000 into $60 million. That looks pretty good. But I think he did it in a longer amount of time than I'm going to do it. So I'm winning. That's my take. But he is. I think he's really smart. I think he's smart. He's an investor who does a lot of like actual research and fundamental research into companies, like anecdotal too, like literally checking out the company, seeing if people like it, trying to look at social feeds, like a lot of interesting stuff. So he was born out of the great financial crisis. Yeah, that's not super fair. So we might be comparable, me and him. He's just been around a little bit longer. Because, again, I didn't really get into this game and really start working on it until 2019. I gave up after the GFC. It sounds like he got started, which was a great time to get started. So I'm going to beat him in the end. But for now, he's winning. Tevis, one of his big trades was buying a ton of Apple when the iPhone was... Oh, dude, that was a no-brainer. If I would have been smoking less weed and more focused, I definitely would have done that too. I knew it's so sad. When I was really a pothead during my teenage years and into my early 20s, I was like, oh my God, dude, Google is the future when I started using it. And then I knew Amazon was the future, even though people shit on it. And then I knew the Apple iPhone was transformational. Imagine if I would have actually like taken what I and I wouldn't have had it all what I have now. Obviously, this has been learned over time. But if I would have taken some of that like natural skill set and applied it at a younger age, I'd probably be a billionaire. He buys everything, even GameStop and AMC during the meme stock. Oh, see, I don't like that. That's not my style for sure, that part. I can't do that, Lim. I just couldn't do it. It's not my thing. I don't like buying trash. I won't buy trash just because people are buying trash. I can't do it. All right, let's let Leisman finish here, and then we'll look, and then we're probably going to call it.
We'll turn now to the markets. New data from the latest.
How did I sidestep and profit in the big 2022 dump? Do I remember 2022? That's a great question. This is why I'm happy I'm on social media now. 2023 I remember really well because I was on X, and I've got historical to it, and I've got bookmarks, and I've just got really strong memories of communicating with people with it. I didn't in 2022. I was on Facebook groups. How did I do well in there? Probably, was it crypto? What was it? Oh, I don't know. I don't remember off the top of my head. It was probably crypto. It was probably CleanSpark. I got CleanSpark options in the $1s range, and I got Mara near the bottom with options, and I got MicroStrategy at the bottom with options. You can imagine how well those did. I would think that those three are probably what drove me into big profits. And then the end of 2022, that's when I started buying Tesla options heavy, Meta options heavy on the bottom. And then in 2023, early 2023, I bought Palantir options really early too. And then I started to cycle in other stuff like Square did okay, Robinhood did really good, and a few others. But that's how I think that's how I did good in 2022. I think that's how I was able to do so good. But I don't remember off the top of my head. I'd have to look. I'd have to look and like do some digging. It just, luckily I tracked my lows. I had a spreadsheet where I was tracking my balance, and so I tracked my lows, and I still have some carryover. Sealess, I think it's better to limit the price charged for name brand drugs. You're still on that? Okay. Platinum 4, Tevis, that's cute. I bought when the first iPod was released. Tevis said one of his big trades. Oh yeah, okay. He does social arbitrage. Yeah. That's a smart way, like figuring out. I mean, it's a great way to do it, right? Like figuring out what people are geared towards, especially like in the retail sector with goods. That's really smart. He definitely has a niche. He's got a gift. I don't know if I'm quite the same kind of investor that he is, but he's got something going for him. But I'll be better. All right, let's listen to the rest of this here.
Latest Bank of America fund manager survey showing investor exposure to U.S. stocks after the election jumped to its highest level since 2013. But our next guest says she's not chasing the sugar high in equities. Joining us here at Post 9, Neuberger Berman Private Wealth Managing Director Holly Newman-Croft. Welcome. I've been so curious to hear how.
When she says that, you know what I know? When she's saying she's not gonna chase the sugar high, you know what I know about this lady right away? She has made no money.
You're advising clients and whether you're telling them to do anything differently after the election.
Yeah, well, this is the first time I've been on in 2024, Carl, that I am ready to answer the question you have been asking me since January, which is who's going to win the election. So I've danced around that. You got some edge on this?
Why does this lady exist if she's telling you now, after people have made a bunch of money, that she still doesn't believe the market's going to go up, and she couldn't even tell you who was going to win the election? Why are you on CNBC? What do you actually know?
Yeah, exactly.
We got the certainty out of
I'm pretty confident in that answer. But now, what does that all mean for the markets? The markets were on a roar coming into the election, and now they are on a post-election high, really trading on euphoria of lower taxes, the pro-business stance of this new administration. U.S. equities are up 27% year.
Oh, it's not odd, Silas. I just don't really care that much about it right now. It's not really my jam. But you can talk all you want, dude. I know I won't stop you.
To date, up 5% month to date. Interestingly, international stocks are down 3.5% month to date as a result of the election and the projected impact of tariffs and his protectionist stance. And fixed income has delivered double-digit returns this year. So 2024, despite being a year of uncertainty in the United States and around the world, is the biggest election year globally than we've had in a long time, has still delivered great returns for your viewers and for.
All right, this lady's annoying as shit. I'm just going to call it here. I didn't see anything too interesting outside of what Leisman was telling us. So, again, we get that Argentinian inflation data around 2. I'll be excited to see that. We can check into that tomorrow. Tomorrow's the big day. We should see mortgage rates hopefully tick down just a hair. I mean, it should, or it'll be right about the same. And then applications, market index, refinance are all going to suck. And then core inflation, CPI, those are the big things for tomorrow. So we'll look at those. It looks like all of it comes in by 8:30 by market open. So hopefully we'll have a really quick, yeah, it sounds like a bee in the background. Did it just come in every once in a while? Weird. It was just when I was getting ready to replay the video. But anyway, so that's going to be fun. So this will be a big driver. If we get decent inflation data for tomorrow, like if it's low, that's what we want, right? We want it to be low. It could be higher, but we don't want it to be much higher. But if it comes in low, whoa, we're going up, okay? What time do I start? I usually at 7 lately. I've been trying to just start at 7. I try to get everybody ready for what's coming, and then be able to pull up economic data as it comes up. Maybe frame the conversation a little bit. Give you guys some news that I think is important. I haven't really been focused on news too much lately. Might do some more of that, but yeah, usually 7 a.m. Central Time. I'm failing in California. That sucks. California is definitely a fail state right now, but it's going to get better. It's going to get better because we got a pure sweep. We're going to clean it all up. Anyway, guys, love you. I hope your day is going good. I actually want to go back. We're going to play this song because, I mean, it's all Trump's house right now, at least for the first part of the year. Peace.
I got love for every nation. I got love for all races. I got love for all religions. Got love for so many places. No love for a politician, a congressman, or a senator. If the country that they put in first ain't the United States of America. No love for these politicians with corporate interests in other countries. Only one that I serve is God. I don't serve man, I don't serve money. No love for the people living in the USA, but always hating it. Got a lot I probably shouldn't say to y'all. Matter of fact, I'll just pray on it. I'm pro-life, pro-God, pro-gun, not ashamed of it. Yo, worshiping military, kill them babies, mutilated children, yell at Satanists. Supporting the troops in their tour doesn't mean that you're supporting the war. Supporting the freedoms that they fighting for doesn't mean that you're supporting the core. Supporting the country I live in and of it doesn't mean blindly supporting the government. The world that we live in is trouble. They turn off the media. We should defund and supporting America for other nations does not make me a racist. If you like communism so much, I'll pay for your vacation. America first, the people are hurt. Got vets in the street with nothing to eat and nowhere to work. Sending our dollars overseas in front of these wars. No love for these politicians if they're not America first. America first. This countries protect their borders. It's not a controversial subject. I say cause the southern border, it seems to get people upset. I don't care what names you call me. We in $40 trillion of debt. Uncle Sam takes half your money, then you get a low refund check. I am America first. Kamala cares a better purse. I never sell out the people to raise my net worth. The Second Amendment is there to always protect my first. I'm a better rapper than Meg Thee Stallion, and I don't even have to curse. Let's keep the American dream alive and put an end to all the lies. BLM raised billions, and what did they do for black lives? Politicians promise you the whole world, then they backslide. What happened to Hunter's laptop? You know I'm most strapped up. Gun rights are human rights. Feminists been sold a lie. You can mess around and find out. Play stupid games, win a stupid prize. God bless the whole USA, even the ones you hate me. Still fighting for you today, and no globalist paid me. America first, the people are hurt. Got vets in the street with nothing to eat and nowhere to work. Sending our dollars overseas in front of these wars. No love for these politicians if they're not America first. America